Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Roll call. Let me know where you at. Foundational Black American Certified Black Society in the building, in the place. Ballers gon' ball and them haters gon' hate. And we got a hell of a lot of haters hating, so we gonna continue to put it on the real way. What it do, y'all? It is time to put out that energy that we do every single week, every single day, every single second, and it's only the foundational way. So I got to see where everybody's at. We're going to get right to it because we're going to set this thing off the proper way. Let me see what we got. Man, I wish I could put everybody on here. South Carolina, St. Louis, I see you. Be one to the whole family. Yes, indeed. Yo, DC in the building. I love when I see DC. Philly, love y'all too. Let's do it. North Carolina, yes, indeed. Oaktown in the house. I see you, Oakland. You already know. Yes, indeed. Detroit. I love Detroit. Atlanta. I love Atlanta. I love everywhere. Foundational. New York City. Let's go. All the Midwest, all the South, all the East Coast, all the West Coast, everything in between. If you foundational Black American and you're not even in the country right now, but you bringing that flag with you, then I'm rocking with you. Then we rocking together because that is what we do. We are going to make some real waves today. Today, we're going to put down a lot of things that have already been in motion, but we're going to put it in like never before, y'all. Never before. This is our era. This is our time. Nobody's going to tell us who we are. No goddamn more. I see you, Philly. Philly in the house, too. Yes, indeed. Every day, all day. South Florida. Yes, indeed. Salute to you. Los Angeles in the building. West Side in the house. This is what I'm talking about. When foundational Black Americans get in the same place at the same time, the energy is undeniable. We are undefeated. We are undisputed. What it is, what it do. So with that said, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and put up what the title says. We are not African. Okay, let's just put that clear so everybody understands that. We ain't got no misconceptions. We are certified foundational Black Americans. We are loyal to the soul. I see New Orleans in the building. Yes, indeed. 504. Shout out to the 9th Ward. Everybody down there too, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. Lawrenceville, Georgia. I see you too. Yes, indeed. New York, all the way around. Upstate. The city, outside the city, the outskirts, everything, Phoenix, Arizona in here. Man, look at all this FBA love. Look at all this FBA pride, y'all. Come on. Who can mess with that? Who can touch that? Nobody. Nobody can. This is the lineage era. This is the lineage and the reparations era. And they go hand in hand. And we go hand in hand. And when we tell people who we are, they just going to have to respect it because we know they can't check it. No longer are people going to try to tell us who we are, tell us where we from. It don't work that way. We are the only lineage on the planet Earth. Will people try to tell us who we are? How you gonna tell somebody who they are? That's like you come and tell me what your last name is, and I say, no, it ain't. Your last name is Jones, and your last name is Jackson. I come and tell you your last name is Williams, and it's really Smith. You feel me? This is what they try to do to FBA all the time. We are the only lineage where people try to correct us. You can't correct me. I am me. This is the family tree. You can look at the family tree right here. Yes, indeed. Illinois is in the building. I see you too. Certified salute. How somebody gonna tell you you ain't from Illinois? How? It don't work that way. Warner Robins, Dallas. How somebody gonna tell you ain't from Dallas, Dallas? Come on, Dallas. How somebody gonna say you ain't really from Dallas? You really from Zimbabwe? Hell no. It don't work that way. Yes, we are not African. We tried to run with that back in the old days and it got us nothing. It got us a lot of people who come over here with disrespect and discontent. We done got rid of every single thing that did not work for us. Denver in the building. How somebody gonna tell you ain't from Denver? How somebody gonna say that? North Carolina. How somebody gonna say that? Huh? You ain't from North Carolina just because somebody from Zimbabwe told you that? Someone from the Senegal? Okay, someone who ain't even been here. How they gonna try to tell you that? It don't work that way. All right. I don't know what they was thinking back in the old days. Back in the old days, they let anybody say anything to them. We don't do that. Louisiana. You know the deep-seated roots in Louisiana. How somebody gonna tell you that you ain't from where you from? That you ain't who you are? That you ain't a part of this FBA family tree? The only time somebody will do that is that they're an op. Don't let them dress it up. They're going to come at us with a whole lot of different language. They're going to come at us with all these different ways. They're going to say, man, well, I just said because we are brothers of the same race. Man, no. No brother, no sister is going to tell you the opposite of what you're telling them. Anybody who comes at you on that, you already know. So FBA, stand up. I see all the chats. Yes, indeed. FBA, stand up. Stick your chest out. We're going to say it loud and proud. And at the end of this episode, like every episode, they're going to know that foundational Black Americans ain't nothing to fuck with. This is the wrong era if you playing games. This is the wrong era if you trying to scheme, plot, plan, and strategize. And if you waiting for our downfall, you better go ahead and get a receipt because it ain't never going to happen. Let's go back in time. Let's go ahead and put some history on the table. And I want to bring up some people on here too, okay? I'm going to have some people. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and I want people to come on up. I want this to be interactive like everything we do right here on the Black Alpha Network. We make sure everything is interactive. We make sure the whole world, the whole family is touching down. But what we're going to do right now, family, is we're going to go ahead and dispel all the rumors. We're going to put all the myths to bed, and we're going to put out for the whole world, anybody's listening, because I know they're listening, because they was coming at me on social media. Oh, man, oh, man. Simply say we are not African, and then watch how many people come after you. And they not coming with all that friendship. It's funny how motherfuckers say they're your friend all day long, right? You be their best friend. Oh, we brothers, we family. I deserve half of your reparations. Yes, I do. And as soon as you say, nah, I'm not African, homie, then all of a sudden it's, you don't know who you are. You have no culture. They be saying we ain't got no culture, yet they talk like us. How you talk like me and then you say I ain't got no culture? Apparently I got it because you duplicating it. But it's a bad, bad copy of it. So FBA, we are going to definitely put out that energy because this is the election season. And if you look at this era right now, eras and generations are really only defined, if you look at it from elections, 2 to 3 elections make up pretty much a generation, okay? And right now, we're going into this next one. This time next year is going to be the election. And you know, the election pulls out a bunch of different things. So right now, this era, this reparations era, we got some traction underneath us. This ain't the beginning no more, all right? We pushing right along. So we have to put it down. And we got to put it down all the way across the board. Anybody from anywhere. I see my brother Voltron in here, brother. You already know. Salute to you, brother. I know you FBA, and they can't stop us. Ain't nobody ever going to tell that brother he ain't FBA. You know what I mean? We loyal to the soil up in here. This is how we get in. So can't nobody try to tell us the opposite of what we on. Can't nobody ever try to dictate. That's what happens, y'all. A lot of people try to dictate to us, but we ain't really to be dictated. We seen how that was back in the day, and that got you the people of colors. That got you everything. It got you a lot of folks that will call you a cotter over here and then flip back and say they want half your reparations money. You feel me? So no. With the election coming up and with this, tumultuous season that we're in, where everybody's got it out for us, literally every single ethnic group takes turns coming at foundational Black Americans. How do you stop that? The only way you stop somebody from hating on you is you regulate. The only way you stop someone from trying to tether on you is you got to delineate. The only way that you get what belongs to you, reparations in the form of cash payments, is you let every single person know that this is a lineage, this is a heritage, this is a culture specifically. It ain't up for anybody's debate. It ain't up for anybody's opinion. It ain't up for any word that comes out of anyone's mouth. Foundational Black Americans, we make the way, we pave the way, and everybody else gonna have to bow the fuck down. So family, let me show you what I put up real quick on social media. A lot of y'all caught this last week, and I don't think I said nothing crazy. You know what I mean? I was just talking my talk like I do every single week. So I'm sitting here. I say simply, we are not African. And family, they came at me in every single fashion form that they possibly could. Now tell me, is there any lies in this story, family? Because to me, it looks very, very, very clear. We are foundational Black Americans. We are not Africans. Let's get this clear. We're going to put that on the table right now. We ain't migrants, all right? We're not fleers. We are not tethers. We didn't come here from some random place and try to get in on what someone else created. We created it. See, we're the people who create. We don't know what it's even like to try to steal someone else's creation, because that's not what we do. That ain't our jam, and we don't rock with that. We don't know what it's like to try to run and hide. That ain't it. We sit here 10 toes down, loyal in the soil. As a matter of fact, every single time that we say that and every single time that we put that out there, people try to tell us the opposite. We're not going for that no more. All right. This is the 11th hour. That right there, family, simply stated that this is the 11th hour, simply representing my lineage, heritage, and culture. Everybody else can. You feel me? They can have any little pride day for this group, another pride day for that group. But when foundational Black Americans stand on pride, we stand on lineage business, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. It really looked like you just don't like foundational Black Americans because you know that we are exceptional. You know that what we've done, you couldn't do in your wildest dreams. See, I ain't got no problems being very, very, very bold representing this lineage. I'm not in here half-stepping, because anytime we have a half-step, people take advantage of us. We're not in here to be exploited. Okay, a smiley face to all these other groups exploits us. We seen the all lives matter, the yes we can, the can't we all just get along. Listen to all those terms. Every single one of those terms means somebody other than self. All right. No other community has those terms because they keep everything to their goddamn self. Foundational Black Americans, we're going to do the same goddamn thing. It's all about independence, and we're calling it out now. We're going to do everything from an independent aspect. Okay. The way we move, the way we walk, the way we talk. All right. Our politics, our social game, our words, our terminologies, our dialogue, our dialect, everything is going to be in-house. We are not sharing. If you came here to share, you better take your ass to the playground. Because foundational Black Americans, we're going to do what everybody else does. Don't nobody ever share with us. Don't nobody ever represent us. Ain't nobody ever putting their neck on the line. But yet they come around and try to tell us, man, we helped start the civil rights era. Imagine that, y'all. Somebody had the nerve. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know what communities I'm talking about. Had the nerve to tell us that they started our civil rights era. Okay, not just that they were a part of it. These folks came around and told us that they started the damn era. AKA, in other words, telling us that everything that we do, we would not been able to do it without them. And then also telling us that we better have indebted, okay? I'm talking about indebted loyalty to them. That's some slave stuff. That ain't no different than somebody coming around here and trying to tell you, well, you know, I'm the one who put food on the table. I'm the ones who told you to get up today. I'm the ones who takes care of you. Ain't nobody took care of foundational Black Americans other than foundational Black Americans. And quite frankly, it's insulting that anybody else would ever come at us that way. This generation, we don't play that. Anybody who comes around here and tries to say the foundational Black Americans owe them something, this generation, we don't play that. Anybody who comes around here and tells us that foundational Black Americans got to put our neck on the line for them and they ain't did nothing for us, this generation don't play that. And if you go all the way back in time, all the way back to day one, who built this country, y'all? We did. And you know what the difference is? Is that we built this country and we gonna put our chest out and we gonna say it loud and proud. Everyone knows foundational Black Americans built this country, all right? It's just the difference was folks was whispering. They didn't really want to say it. They didn't want to offend nobody. Fuck that. I'm offending everybody who got a problem with the truth. If you got a problem with the truth, if you got a problem with any issues that we say that's real, then you got a real problem. And it's all personal. All personal. So we are from the soil. We are the only ones who've ever given this country any dignity, any decency. We're the only ones who have moral support. We're the only ones who are the moral backbone. The moral fiber all comes from us. If you look at every single other group in this country, what they ever done to advance anything. Foundational Black Americans, we put our neck on the line for everybody else. We are out here going through the worst conditions and put it all on the line. We, foundationals, we deserve every single thing that we get, and we're not going to allow nobody to disrespect that. And I don't give a damn what little sneaky door you come in through, because y'all know with us, they don't never come in through the front, because they know through the front they're going to get smoked. So they got to come in through the back door and every which way. We ain't playing that, okay? We have been here since day one. We built this country with dignity. We are the ones uplifting everything. We fought in every single war. Foundational Black Americans fought in every single war. The first person to ever even die at war was a Black American. But yet people come around and try to tell Black Americans what we gonna do. Let me tell you what the fuck we ain't gonna do. What we ain't gonna do is tolerate disrespect no more. What we ain't gonna do is allow anybody to eat off our plate. But what we are gonna do, we gonna stay certified and we gonna bring it all the way home. And we got them goddamn receipts. Family, let's take it on. Let's go to somebody's grandma. All right, let's talk to grandma. All right, who tells the real? Who really speaks the real truth, fam? This had to been the best opening right here. 13 minutes. I done ran down everybody in here. We got pretty much all the 50 states. Nothing but that certified energy. And it's just getting started. Turn up the volume, family. Lock in, because we're going to piss some people off and we're going to regulate. Yes, indeed. Grandma would tell the truth. Nobody's going to tell the truth better than grandma. I want y'all to check this out right now, y'all. Check this out. This is a certified foundational Black American Gullah Geechee elder, and she says, I am not African. I am full-blooded American. One more time for your mind. Full-blooded American. And this is what they don't like to hear, because when we say we full-blooded American, that means you cannot deport me like you can Mr. Jorge, like you can Mr. Muhammad, okay? They got to go. Mr. Mutombo, his ass gone too. This is what they don't like. This is what they can't stand, but this is what they got to deal with. I'm going to let grandma tell the truth, but guess what, y'all? She ain't going to say nothing that we ain't heard from our own grandparents, because while they sell us dreams inside of our own households, we've all been told the story about how when they first got here, we were already here. We've all heard the stories about how our lineage goes all the way back. We all know the stories about the real maroons and not the red imposters. And we're going to break them all down today, but I'm going to let grandma go. Check it out.
Man, you see that little girl? She correct me all the time. No, grandma, I don't understand you too good, grandma. I said, what do you mean you can't understand me? You can understand other things, right? You can understand me. No, grandma, I don't understand you. Then he think for a while. Yeah, something. Some of them, yeah, they call me from, if I'm from Africa or from, I'm not from Africa. I'm a full-blooded American.
Woo!
As long as I can speak, that people can understand some of the thing. I understand the way you speak.
One more time.
Me from, if I'm from Africa or from, I'm not from Africa. I'm a full-blooded American. As long as I can speak, that people can understand some of the thing. I understand the way you speak.
That part, that part, that part, y'all. Come on. Somebody can say anything they want to say. Somebody can try to twist the truth. Somebody can lie to us. But I'm going to tell you who you ain't going to lie to. You ain't lying to grandma. You ain't lying to grandpa neither. One thing about certified foundational Black Americans is that we don't really do disrespect when it comes to mom, when it comes to dad. We don't do disrespect when it comes to grandma neither. That is what you are not going to do. That's a line that you are not going to cross. And we're going to make sure that anybody who crosses that line gets regulated. And I don't know why the hell they didn't do that back in the old day. Maybe because they was on Edmund Pettus Bridge, okay, handshaking and hugging folks that was whooping their ass. But we don't really do that, all right? What we do is we tell people that woman right there, that certified foundational Black American beauty, you are going to respect every single thing that she says. You may not respect what I say. You may want to go back and forth with me, but you ain't going to go back and forth with her. Grandparents, nah, you ain't going to disrespect the FBA lineage. You ain't going to disrespect the FBA soul. And we got that FBA soul all in the building. You right. Say that, elder. The elders, nah, you ain't going to disrespect. But you know, Black Alpha, I would never say these things, y'all, unless I had receipts for myself. Yes, indeed. I made a phone call today to my brother. Yes, I did. And I spoke to my brother today. I spoke to my mama today too. All right. And we start speaking about the lineage. And I want to share with y'all that I actually have some pictures right now of my great grandmother. All right. And this is a beautiful foundational Black American woman from the great state of Kentucky. If anybody in Kentucky's in the house, shout out Kentucky, the home of the great Muhammad Ali, right? Okay, well, my people are from Kentucky, also from Mississippi, both sides, right? Understand? So I'm going to show y'all a receipt. Somebody else is just going to tell you about their stuff, and they're going to show everybody else's grandmas. Let me show y'all mine. This right here is Grandma Alpha. So I'm going to send a FBA salute. I'm going to blow a kiss to Grandma Alpha, great Grandma Alpha. She has transitioned a long time ago, y'all. But this right here, that is my grandmother. Her name was Pearl. So y'all know when it's Pearl, you know that's FBA all damn day, right? You don't hear Pearl unless you're talking FBA. So that right there is me putting receipts on the line because I'm going to walk it, I'm going to talk it, I'm going to talk it, and I'm going to walk it. Yes, indeed, y'all. So that right there, that is my great grandmother. That is my grandfather's mother. The great state of Kentucky, FBA. Y'all already know what type of time it is, man. I bet she never thought that she'd be on something called the internet, speaking to thousands of people, and her great-great-grandson be up in this building putting in that work to everybody else. I bet she never thought that. But, you know, we represent our elders. We represent our family, man. So appreciate it. She looked like everybody in my family. So that right there is my great-grandmother, Pearl. Salute to you. That is what it is. That's how we're going to start it, all family. But, you know, I wouldn't be Black Alpha Network if I didn't go like an extra mile, you know, all right? You know, so I always push it a little further. Let me take it a little further back, okay? Because we did our lineage up in here. So I'm going to take it even further back, y'all, and I'm going to go 5 generations removed. Nobody else is going to pull this out for the world to see other than me, and I'm going to do it because this is FBA, and this is how much I love the family tree. Y'all, check this out right here. This is my 5 times removed, 5 times removed grandfather right there. He is from Green, Mississippi. So if anybody from Mississippi is in the building, I send you a certified salute as well. And one thing for certain, 2 things for show, family, ain't none of them from Africa. Every single one of them is certified FBA to the soul. And that's the way it's always gonna be. So I had to put my foundational Black American family on the line. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if my great-great-grandmother did not ever think that I'd be showing her on the internet, I know he didn't. All right, I know it, but guess what? That's what we do. We represent you even when you ain't here, and we're going to continue to represent, and we're going to represent the real way. And the best way to represent them is by putting it down for their lineage and letting everybody know that these were not Africans. And to call them Africans is disrespectful. Think about it, family. Ain't it really, really disrespectful to try to tell somebody that they're not from where they're from, and where they're from? Not only did they build it, not only did they go through the most tumultuous conditions, they did it with no type of help, no type of welfare. And matter of fact, the same people who tell us that we not from here. Oh, Mississippi in the building. Hold up. Oh, yo, you already know. Oh, we got a couple Mississippis in the building. Oh, yes, indeed. DSB, what it is, man. Yes, let's get it. Let's get it all the way around. Lineage stick up in here. Lineage big time. So for everything that we've done, everything that we created, all the sacrifices that we went through for them to even pave the way for us to sit here and have these conversations and to continue this great legacy, it is very disrespectful for anybody to speak down on it. It's very disrespectful. I see you, Mississippi, again in the building, all the way. We up in here. Yes, indeed. Nobody is going to disrespect where we came from. Nobody is going to disrespect what we have created. And when they all transition, family, they transitioned and they left everything to us to represent. That's the main thing that they did. They left it all for us to represent, and they left it all for us to make sure that we continue to push the line. Now, anybody who wants us to not push that line is definitely an op. And that's what we have to understand. We got to follow it very clearly. People who have all this resistance towards us simply by just being ourselves, these people are just ops. We ain't got to play that deep. Okay, we can keep very simple with who the ops are. All right, when you see somebody talking that type of time, they just an op. And we're not going to ever disrespect where we came from. We're never going to disrespect who we are by falling victim to somebody who's trying to tell us, don't be who you are. Those type of individuals, no matter where they're from, no matter where they come from, those type of individuals do not want to see foundational Black Americans shine. But you know one thing, waiting on foundational Black Americans to not shine, you're going to be waiting forever, because we're going to always shine. And that is what we do. So I want to break down some of these people that was getting mad at me, and they was out there saying, you uneducated because you don't think that you really from Africa. You don't really know who you are. And matter of fact, I had Nipsey Hussle, okay? I had Nipsey Hussle's picture, and they said, how you going to say that you're not African, but you got a picture of Nipsey Hussle? Because it's a picture, all right? And he is from where he from, and I'm from where I'm from. So if I got a picture of Nipsey Hussle, does that make me any less American? I was waiting on their little disc to land. That shit never landed. That made no sense. So if I got a picture up of an alien, am I not human no more? And I even saluted Nipsey Hussle and let it be known, Nipsey Hussle is our brother from the other side. And this is what we talk about these people not being on code. We can represent you if you want code. If you represent the lineage of your side and I represent my side, we can meet at a table. But I send Nipsey Hussle a salute, and I send a salute to anybody else who's on code. But let me tell you like this, I don't give a damn if I got a picture. I don't give a damn if I got a portrait of anybody. This FBA all goddamn day. And you going to respect it all the way live, 24/7, 365. And this is what they were on. They was coming after me, and I've been seeing this popping up more and more. So you have the Pan-African hustle. We're going to break down the Pan-African hustle, or shall I say the scam African hustle. We're going to talk about these migrants. And I want everybody to realize right now, there's these people out here speaking on migrants, Dr. Umar, and they're speaking around the Black migrants, though. You feel me? They out here talking about the migrant crisis, but they not really talking about how part of that migrant crisis are a whole bunch of Africans that don't rock with us neither. All right. So what we going to do is we going to do what we always do. We going to bring some clarity to the situation. Anytime someone's playing dumb, like they don't know what's really going on. Anytime someone tries to act like they don't really know what we hitting for, we going to hit them up and let them know this is what it is. So let's go all the way to Africa, family. When you start speaking about us being here to the soil, foundational Black Americans, the stories that all of our grandparents have told us, our great aunties, our great uncles, all of the stories that we've heard, right? We all have known for years that we are the indigenous. We are the natives. Dr. Claude Anderson always said native Black American. Now we say foundational Black American. It means the same exact thing. The foundation, which means you didn't exist before the foundation. We did. Native means you weren't here before the natives. We were. They try to erase us and put in these other people and say, those are the natives. No, we were here before them. As a matter of fact, these people are actually looked at as immigrants by us. Everybody came after us. There's a brother named Dr. David M. Hotep. All right. He always says, he said, the first people all the time, anywhere are Black people. But when it comes to America, then all of a sudden people try to say that the original folks weren't Black. The original folks is Black. We, us, all together now. It's foundational Black American. It ain't immigrant. Okay. It ain't refugee. It ain't migrant. That's them terms for them. We foundations. We were here from the very, very, very beginning. And when you start looking at it, what I always say, family, I said there's about 5 eras of our family tree here. Okay. They only want to tell us one. They want to tell us civil rights. And matter of fact, they'll say slavery, and then they'll skip all the way to civil rights, and then they'll just act like nothing ever happened. Family, there was the indigenous era. And the indigenous era existed for years, eons. This before anybody showed up. And then after that, you have slavery. And mind you, slavery did not replace the indigenous era. The slaves actually came and they mixed with the indigenous. Let me say that one more time and crystal clear. Slavery did not replace the indigenous people. There were already millions of indigenous people here. And they were here thousands of years before slavery. Slavery joined in our existence right here. And then after that, you have Reconstruction. Then after that, you have the civil rights. Not until the 1960s did any other black person show up. No, hell no, they didn't. No, we was here first and foremost. We all know the stories. When we got there, there were already black people there. And them black people been here. How long do you got to be in a place before you become from that place? How long? How long does it take? Because they try to tell foundational black Americans we could be somewhere for 1,000,000 years, but we still from Africa. Is that where we at now? We're going to be up in here until the year 40,000, and they're going to say, y'all still from Zimbabwe. Hell motherfucking no. Hell no. That ain't how it worked. We have been here since day one. We was here before day one. There wasn't even a day yet, and we was already here. Trust me. And then everything that we created, all of the culture, we laid down the groundwork. Now, mind you, I'm talking about the soil. We say loyal to the soil. We're actually talking about the landmass. The American country didn't get created until 1776. We were here way before that. So if you want to talk about American, who created America, the people who are already in the landmass in which we call the USA today are the people who created it. That's why we say foundational. Simple math. If you're listening, Mr. Mutombo, put down the Joloff, okay? Put down the Fufu and catch some of these facts right here. This is what FBA do. We drop them facts, all right? So put it all away. If you're listening, Jorge, all right, put down the beef and bean burrito, okay, and catch these facts. This is what we do. We are foundational Black Americans. It is all in the title. We did not sell our people, and we're going to break down that today. As a matter of fact, why wait? Family, let's talk about how the same people who sold us now turn around and try to tell us that, well, we didn't really do it like that now. We understood that if it would have happened, then we wouldn't have known how it could have processed, and then we would have came back in time. Bullshit, 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 family. The same people who sold the slaves are the same people now who are trying to come here and tell you that you ain't from where you from. We're not in the debate game. See, the thing about this era is we say what we want to say. We say it how we want to say it. If it hurts people's feelings, who gives a damn? And then we just move on. Back in the old days, it used to be, well, I don't really want to hurt nobody's feelings, man. Fuck their feelings, okay? Because didn't nobody care about us. When we sit there and talk about that indigenous era, when we talk about slavery, when we talk about Reconstruction, civil rights, when they would come and just burn down everything that we created, who came to help us, y'all? Who came to help us? Who came to help foundational Black Americans in our time of need? Who came to assist us in our time of need? Did anybody send a rowboat? Did anybody send any of that? No, nobody did. Nobody sent a goddamn thing. We were out here putting in that work, and we've always put in that work. So if anyone in the planet Earth has a reason to be proud of who they are, has a reason to represent who they are, then the most exceptional lineage, heritage, and culture on the planet Earth has that, and that is us. And we are going to continue to hold it down and hold the crown. We ain't backtracking. We ain't falling back for nobody. If people don't like the type of time that we on, they just gonna have to deal with it. Point blank, period. We didn't come this far. We didn't do all the great things that we've done to sit back and worry about someone else's feelings, especially when no one ever helped us. They told foundational Black Americans basically to do things on our own. We did things on our own, and we passed up everybody. So now everybody got to deal with it. It was just foundational Black Americans in them cotton fields. Then it's going to be just foundational Black Americans counting that reparations money all the way around. Now let's talk about these people who come over here and they got all that spite, hatred, jealousy, and envy for foundational Black Americans. Let's talk about who really got each other's back, and let's talk about the people who talk about you behind your back. Today, all the tellers All of the runners, the hoppers, the skippers, the jumpers, the jock bars, the blenders, they all are going to leave this episode knowing you ain't getting the money, you ain't getting the tangibles, and you ain't getting what's ours. Tell me if y'all agree with this right here. Let's go.
What other race/ethnicities do you believe would be there to help Black people in a race war?
Black American people, because the Caribbeans and the Africans, I don't see them standing up with us either.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
The diaspora wars are already going crazy. It's mad Caribbeans and African people that think that they better than Black Americans as it is. So when people from other countries come here, they are already forewarned. Stay away from them Black Americans. They're like this. They're like that. There are a lot that will stand up with us, but I'm not counting every single last one.
So what you're saying is there are going to be a group of West Indians who are going to look at a race war and say, I'm from Trinidad. I know what's going on here. But I'm from Trinidad. I know what's going on in Alabama. I know them.
You goddamn right that's how it's going to be. You damn right. Ain't nothing to joke about. That's exactly how it's going to be. The same people talking on you crazy today going to be the same ones saying that right there. This little notion that somebody came at us sideways yesterday, but all of a sudden today they're going to have our back, that ain't how it go down. These are the same people who sold us, the same people who deny that they sold us. And we're going to pull out receipts. And let's go there, family. Let's really not just talk about that they did sell us. Let's talk about the excuses they make for selling us today. And we got them right here, all the way live right here on the table, y'all. Check this out right here. I found, because I did some research, some people, and I want the family to know in an extensive detail on not just the denial about how they say they didn't sell us. Let's talk about the way they try to flip it back on us. We already played a tether last week, and he was trying to say that foundational Black Americans, we really the problem for selling foundational Black Americans. But check this out, family. Watch the excuses roll in. Tighten up. We're going to rock it all the way live. Let's get it. Let's go, y'all.
Opportunity to give my
Let's find out what Mrs. Mutombo. This Miss Mutombo, y'all, and she got something to say.
Point of view regarding this. Who told you that we Africans sold you? White people. Right? White people told you that we sold you when we don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but we were not there. We don't actually know what happened. We don't know what happened, right? But you believe them when they say that we sold you. That you believe, right? Let me tell you something. The battle for the freedom, it wasn't just white people. It wasn't just, it wasn't just Black people. There were white people who helped to free black people from slavery. But you don't talk about that, do you? I don't want to talk about slavery because...
Whoa, did y'all catch that? Tell me y'all caught that from Mrs. Mutombo. Caught that. Did y'all see that? First off, she's trying to deny that they sold us, okay? And then she tries to say, and you knew it was coming. Then she tries to hit you with, but Zati helped us as well. So you see, and you knew it was coming. You knew they was going to cape for the colonizer. Man, we're going to talk about their real mentality. We ain't telling no secrets no more, okay? This little notion, how everybody knows that the diaspora got issues with foundational Black Americans, jealousy for foundational Black Americans, don't nobody want to say it, we're going to say it today. How did you know? If I would have told you 10 minutes ago I was going to play this video, you would have bet me $100 that she was going to deny selling us, and then somehow she was going to flip it to, well, Zaddy wasn't that wrong. Notice how right there, family, she starts saying how, well, there was also white people who helped us during slavery. So is this just about us? Or is this about you caping for Zaddy? Oh, yeah. What I tell you, family, when you take a tether and you mix it with a swirler, you get yourself a twirler. And her ass twirling all through the goddamn video. We gonna break it down. They ain't got nothing that they gonna hide today. We're gonna flip over every single rock, and any lie that they tell is going to be exposed. And we're gonna let it be known clear that it's foundational Black Americans over everything. And this is gonna change it up.
It wasn't just Black people. There were white people who helped to free black people from slavery. But you don't talk about that, do you? I don't want to talk about slavery because, like, all white people were not involved in slavery. All Black people were not involved in slavery too. All right? We shouldn't start like that division where white were the colonizer, all white were the colonizer, and all Black were slaves. We need to go past through that. We need to go pass through that so we can thrive. That seed of division that was put into your brain, saying that your brothers sold you because so you can hate us and we will never be united.
Oh, there go that brother talk. Your brothers, you FBAs are so mean because your brothers, she's trying to make it look like it's all on us. Didn't we say, family, that is 1 minute and 32 seconds in. She done already excused Zaddy 13 different goddamn times and blamed foundational Black Americans 27 times. This is what they do. We got to watch all of the reverse psychology that they try to pull on us, family. It's always flipping it back on us. I ain't just done with Mr. Mutombo. Let's go see what Mr. Mutombo says. I want y'all to hear this guy right here. And I got receipts, family. Oh, we stacking them, packing them, and racking them. I want y'all to hear this guy right here. He said, well, we were told that they were going to sell the slaves and bring them back. I ain't lying, y'all. Watch Mr. Mutombo.
We just found this new land. We need help prospering in it. We need help growing it. The African chiefs, they said, okay, we're going to borrow you our strongest men and women. And then in exchange, the white man gave us goods. But the contract was, when you're done, you could bring them back.
Bullshit, man. When in your life have y'all ever heard that? When have you ever heard that one? He telling some straight village lies. Hold on. Let me play that one more time. He literally says that they sold us and Massa said, we'll bring them back to you. Very conveniently letting Africans who sold Africans off the hook. If you give them an opportunity to tell the truth, they're going to tell a lie.
Strongest men and women. And then in exchange, the white man gave us goods. But the contract was, when you're done, you could bring them back.
Man, ain't nobody ever heard that because ain't nobody ever said that. That man know he lying, splaining all damn day long. That's tether splaining right there, y'all. This is what we get. So you can see they ain't really trying to make no type of amends for nothing. Nothing. Notice they'll throw around brother, sister all damn day long. But when it comes to just speaking the simple truth, simply just saying, hey, man, a lot of us sold y'all. A lot of us is off code. Do y'all ever see that? Do you ever see anybody from over there really, really break down the off-coded nature of those who are speaking on us? You never see that. You never see one of them say, hey, man, chill out with all that FBA hate. They may come over to us and say, hey, FBA, we not all bad. I like you too. Some of us talk crazy. And I say, cool, I got that. But go tell them. Go tell them. Don't come tell us all the time. It's almost like the people who really want to tell the truth, they still want to say it and still cape for the other side. And that's somebody who ain't really rocking with you. If you're going to rock with foundational Black Americans, you got to do it 100. You can't halfway be my friend. You can't halfway be my ally. You can't halfway be my brother. All right. If you're going to be my brother, you got to be it all the way. That's what we say. Bloodline, full blood. You feel me? This is the type of time we're on. And if you notice, he is caping completely, talking about we did not know that the rules were that you could come back. Nobody has ever heard that one right there. No. And notice, family, a lot of times they contradict themselves. They'll contradict themselves every single time they talk. They'll be like, well, he said that kata doesn't really mean a slur. Then they said a kata does mean a slur. And if you listen to 10 of them talk, you won't get 10 different answers. So foundational Black Americans, we said 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to goddamn 10. All y'all can go sit over there and work that out. We ain't got time for this no more. We are too focused and too busy to get what is ours. It's getting to the point now, family, they're trying to do the same thing the supremacists do. They're trying to get us in these rotating debates that go nowhere. And they don't like the fact that we don't take that bait. We don't say, okay, let's argue with Mr. Mutombo. We're not here to argue. We drop seats, we roll. We're not here to debate. We drop seats, we roll. And everybody else has to understand that, has to feel that. So the whole notion of we didn't really sell y'all, but there was a rule that says we would get y'all back. Like they was putting us on layaway or some shit. There's no shame in Mr. Mutombo. None at all. But family, it doesn't just stop there. Let's talk. Let's go there about the word akata. Okay? Because back in the old days, and I mean like before we start talking reparations, you can look at everything in terms of our relationship with the diaspora. It was always reparations after, reparations before. Before reparations, it was akata, stay home, stay away from the akata. Then all of a sudden it turned into akata does not mean slur. Akata means family. We don't call Akata to you. We call it to family. Akata is not a bad thing. No. If I call you Akata, that means you family. Bullshit. We all know that's a lie. They're literally now to the point they're trying to tell us that Akata really just means family. We call each other all Akata. Notice how they're trying to dilute and they're trying to water down it. We did not call them out back in the old days, the old generations. This generation, we calling them out, and now watch everybody scatter. Now they don't really know what to say. They don't know really what to do. And that is the difference between us and them. Foundational Black Americans, we got them against the ropes right now because any lie that they throw at us is getting projected off top easily, immediately. And that's the way we push it. So the term Akata, that was something that your average everyday person didn't really know. They didn't really know that here in America, okay? They didn't know because an average person, when you think with that Pan-African mind that was put on us, they made everybody wear this jacket of Pan-Africanism. And when foundational Black Americans started taking that stuff off and saying, that shit don't work for us, that don't get us anywhere. No. When you represent your lineage, you represent your family tree, your soul, you go way further than trying to wear a jacket of something that doesn't exist. Trying to wear a jacket of something that's going to benefit everyone but you. So easily, we removed that jacket and we put down the FBA flag. Pan-African jacket off, FBA flag in the ground. Now things have changed and we've seen the rotation and we've seen the movement. But they're running around right now saying that Akata means every single thing. As I sat back and did more research and I started listening to some people talk, I started to hear at least, and I'm not lying, y'all, 25, 30 different excuses for Akata. They still wouldn't be honest. The same way they're not honest about selling other Black people, the same way they're not honest about tribalism, the same way they're not honest about the term Akata. And it wouldn't really register to people because the average brother and sister here in America, we like, oh, we all Black. We Black. Everybody Black. We all Black. Brothers and sisters back in the day, they couldn't really understand that another Black person would use a racial slur against you the same way the dominant society does. The average Black person couldn't really think about it that you got to view some of these tethers the same exact way you view the dominant society because they got the same mentality. If tether A is trying to impress massa, then you got to view him as massa. It may not make somebody feel good, might hurt their feelings. But once again, we're not in the emotional business. We're in the results business. And in the results business, if your ass is a tether and you tap dance for massa, then I'm going to go ahead and put you in that massa box. And everybody getting regulated. So when it came around and it was calling us all these terms, a lot of folks were like, I don't really know what that means. I'm going to tell you what it means. It means a slur. It's derogatory. And it's the same exact way that these other groups come to this country and they speak down on foundational Black Americans. It's the same exact way that all of these Black brothers come over here and they talk down on foundational Black Americans. And you know I got receipts to prove it, y'all. Check this out right here. These are more excuses of these people speaking about Akata and never being honest about it. We can count how many excuses they make. We can count them all right here. But guarantee you, family, when it comes to the simple basics, they won't even admit that they have another slur for other Black people. And are you surprised that the Blacks who sold Blacks are the Blacks who also call Black folks Akata? Check it out.
Akata doesn't mean anti-Black or anything like that.
I just add my 2 cents to this whole Akata debate. Is Akata an offensive word? Is it used in a derogatory way by Nigerians towards African Americans? Here's my 2 cents. Here's what I know. As a Nigerian, I can say that most of the time it isn't used in a derogatory way. Hold on now, African American brothers and sisters, listen to me for a minute. And here's why. Because most Nigerians are not even aware of what it means. We don't know what it means. We can't even agree if it's a Yoruba word that means wildcat, or if it's an Igbo word that means a strong-willed woman who couldn't be tamed, you know.
Whoa. Hold up. When you hear bullshit, sometimes you got to pause it and regulate it. Family, that man just said he's not sure if Akata means a cat or if it means a strong-willed woman who can't be tamed. That's what he said. That's what he said. Brother, you're lying, okay? You're lying. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. He said, we don't even know where it comes from. The first person who was talking just came out straight up and was like, it doesn't mean anything bad. That's her lie. Then this guy's lie is, well, it could mean something bad, but we haven't even figured out what it really could truly mean. You know what it means. You know what it means. Your whole family knows what it means. And you say it with purpose because you say it like you mean it. Stop playing. And he literally just said that, family. He literally just said, we have to figure out if it means woman. So he's basically trying to tell us that when they use this term for foundational Black Americans, they really just kind of mean it from the aspect of we just women who can't be tamed, or you might just be a cat too. But we don't know yet. Let's go get some research. They want to hit us with the HR 40. Y'all know how they want to hit us with the let's study reparations. They want to study Akata. Okay, they want to put us on another study, a stall tactic. This is what he's trying to basically tell us. Let's figure it out. We will see what it is. We will check and do research, and we'll get back to you later, and we'll determine if it really means something bad. Fuck that, all right? The same way we ain't going for the HR 40, 45-year stall, we ain't going for the Akata, all right? We know what it means, and you know what it means, Mr. Mutombo, and you're just mad that foundational Black Americans ain't letting you get away with the bullshit.
You know, back in the day, and then when the Igbos came to America, they started using it as well just to describe, you know, all Black Americans.
Akata, this word that Black Americans are so angry about. Okay, so, you know, Akata started from like my older generation, like my parents. When the first wave of Africans that started coming to America, like in the 70s, 80s, they came and they started calling Black Americans Akata because of what they called the stubborn nature of Black Americans, the thuggish nature. They're always quick to pull a gun. You're quick to want to fight. Never just want to just reason things out. Always trying to take things to the extreme.
So basically, he's telling us that we're violent. Look at him like right there, trying to make an excuse for what it means. And in the process of telling us the excuse, he's sitting there downplaying and disrespecting us. It really means that you guys are just violent, but that's not bad though. You guys always want to pull out a gun, but that's not bad though. I still ain't got nothing clear. All right, now we on person 5 now. Come on. We letting it know. This is what they saying. This ain't AI. This is what they say. Come on, we letting it rock. What's it gonna be, Mr. Mutombo? Now you're sitting there saying the foundational Black Americans are violent. He's basically saying some black on black crime. Okay, he's talking about the reason they call us Akata is because we are hot-headed and cannot solve problems. We solve building the country. What you solve? Exactly.
So from what I was growing up, I heard that Akata means a stubborn goat. Like you're just stubborn. So that's where Akata came from. But as the generations kept on coming, new generations kept on coming, it started like getting the meaning started evolving. So now I can be like, someone can come and be like, yo, what's up, man? She's like, what's up? Where you did? I'm like, yeah, I did with my Akata homeboy. That's not racist at all. That's like just saying I'm with my Black American friend. I'm not good. If you translate.
Whoa, he said that he refers to us in a nice way. Yes, I'm just talking to my Akata homeboy. Whoa. Hold up. Wait a minute.
She's like, what's up? Where you did? I'm like, yeah, I did with my Akata homeboy. That's not racist at all.
I'm with my cat homeboy, with my stray cat homeboy. This is what he's saying. This man literally just sat there and said, when someone calls him and says, who you with? He said, I am sitting here with my Akata homeboy. When the hell do we ever ask to get called that? It ain't ever happened because he's lying. He's lying again, y'all. This man literally now is trying to reduce it to just casual slang. Nah.
That's like just saying I'm with my Black American friend. I'm not good.
If you translate Black Panther to Yoruba language, it's Akata. If you translate it back to the English language, it's wildcat. Ask a Yoruba person if there's a meaning for the word Black Panther. Because this.
That Akata means wild fox, wild cat. And they said that basically it means that anyone who is not living their true culture. So it could be anyone could be an Akata, not just a Black American.
Well, a lot of Nigerians that try.
No, you see, they're trying to spread it out. They want to spread it out. That's one thing the dominant society love to do. They want to spread the blame. That sounds like it goes both ways. It goes both ways, everyone. It's not really an FBA thing. No. They're basically trying to tell us, y'all, that anybody could be an Akata. It's just any old person. You can show up. We can call you Akata. We don't mean it just for one person. It's everybody. No, you're trying to take the spotlight off of, you made that exclusively for us. Don't tell me about no wildcat, no panther, no fox. I don't want to hear none of that, okay? You ain't talking about all that brother and sister. It's funny how we brothers and sisters when you want my money. When it comes to reparations panels, we brothers and sisters. But now all of a sudden we wildcats and dogs and foxes. Come on. Nah. See what they think that we go for them half-ass lies that they tell each other, all right? This ain't no damn dating site, all right? This ain't the Nigerians on the dating site trying to scheme some 350-pound OW woman, okay, for some goddamn money to pay her phone bill, all right? These aren't the little Nigerian scammers. You're not going to hit us with the scammer lie. You ain't hustling no hustlers. If somebody built their country by scratch the way we did, I would suggest you don't try to hit them with your scammer lies. You better take that on back to a dating website, all right? And maybe Sally Sue will fall for that, but foundational Black Americans ain't falling for none of it. Checkmate. Listen to this one right here, family. This is a certified speaking real truth about it. This is what they don't want being heard.
Travel abroad got this talk from their family where they will sit you down and tell you, you're going there. Don't go and talk to those Black Americans. Though. You just go and get pregnant. You get into drugs. You start become gang banging. They give you that talk that just go to the white community, find a nice place. They just go and be decent. Stay with the white people.
Beware of Black people and stay away from them. They are not good people is one of the first things that my mom was told when she came to this country. I am a first-generation immigrant child. My parents came here back in 1993 after the Somali War. My parents came here as refugees, and they were taught the ways of the Americans by white people who were helping them stay in hotels, giving food, shelter, et cetera, et cetera. My mom told me a lot of things that the guides would tell them. They would say, you know, these people, they're Black. They get into a lot of crimes. I wouldn't suggest that you mess around with them.
As an African American who traveled to Nigeria, sis, I'm sorry, but akata is a derogatory word towards African Americans. It's not a good word to use at all for your stolen, sold out sisters and brothers that are in America.
Akata doesn't mean anti.
Damn right, damn real, y'all. That's just a quick rundown. Now, mind you, we can put together 5 minutes and we got 500 excuses. Imagine if we put together 30 minutes or an hour. There's no common ground. These are people trying to scam us. And it's time we get very, very, very honest about what's been going on in the diaspora. In the diaspora family, there's no love for foundational Black Americans at all. Okay, half of them don't even like each other. So you know they don't like FBA. And the quicker foundational Black Americans understand that, like we do, the Black grassroots here in this country, the way we understand that, look how quick things have moved when we got that in our mind. Soon as we did delineate, separate, we regulate, we get reparations. It all goes hand in hand, side by side. So if you notice, the quicker we understand this, the more we move, that's letting you know that we had to get rid of that jacket. That lets you know that these people aren't bringing anything to the table. What they're bringing to the table, family, is confusion. What they're bringing to the table, family, is trying to weigh us down. They are trying to get close enough to us to when we get that bag of reparations, they can snatch it and run. It's the same game plan we've been seeing in this country since the Civil Rights Act, okay? Since the Immigration Act. Everybody comes over here, they eat off our plate, and they take it back home. It used to be they just walk in the house and just walk into your refrigerator and take what's out of it. Now we ain't going for that. And now we're not even letting you in the house. The door is closed, hands down. Foundational Black Americans done put some bolts on it, and we're not letting you in. And now we see that that type of time is the type of time that everybody's on. Pretty much an independent foundational Black American, it sends shockwaves throughout the whole world. Yes, it does. And you're seeing the after effects and results from that, and you're seeing it play out globally. There's people who aren't even from here, and they talking that talk. You got folks that are flying into this country right now, and the first thing they do is they start looking for FBA. Where can I find FBA? Where's FBA at? Why are they doing that, y'all? I'm going to tell you why they're doing that. Because they understand that we are their meal ticket. If it is not foundational Black American sponsored, they ain't going to eat. Trust me, you done already ran from your homeland anyway. You didn't run to your homeland and then say, well, you know what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to build. These folks don't get this type of will to want to build all of a sudden when they get here. We ain't got no friends. We ain't got no allies. We ain't got no buddies. And that's good. That's beautiful. If it takes us to know that we out here by ourselves for us to get it done, perfect. Works out perfect. Look at the political discourse. I ask this question all the time, and I already know how y'all going to answer it because y'all certified live all the way. But let me ask everybody. Name me one group on the planet Earth. I'm going to spot the whole planet. All 7 billion people on the planet Earth. Name me one genuine, sincere ally for foundational Black Americans, other than foundational Black Americans. There ain't none. There ain't none. You talking about the whole world. Okay, normally people can walk across the street and get a friend, Somebody can walk down the block. You can fall over your feet and trip and get a friend. Foundational Black Americans, we ain't got no friends, and it's a good thing. It's a damn good thing to not have no friends, because the more that we operate by ourselves, the more the money stay here. The more our own existence, our own tangibles, everything we create, all of our resources. The share game is over. We ain't sharing nothing. And that's a beautiful thing. We got zero, we got none, we got nada. It's all about our FBA family tree. I'm telling y'all, this is the lineage era. And anybody who is not getting on board with the lineage-based reparations, lineage-based pride, lineage-based soul is going to get left behind. There are a lot of people that used to come around the Black grassroots and talk, and now they're getting left behind because they don't want to get on board with lineage. The people will make the decisions. The great Dr. Huey P. Newton, he said it best. He said the people decide everything. It's all about the people. The people's will be what prevails. And in this era, the people have spoken. We done made it clear that we are going to be laser focused. We're going to focus on lineage-based reparations, lineage-based tangibles, resources, and just lineage-based relationships. We're going to make sure everything stays in-house amongst ourselves. This is what we have made clear. And ever since we've made it clear, now presidents got to talk about reparations. If they had such the antidote in the formula back in the old day, then how come folks was disrespecting Black folks? All right. All you got to do is look at the results then, look at the results now, and you can tell that foundational Black Americans are moving real solid, very strong. Nobody can get off. When the president got to ask, how am I going to handle this reparations problem? How am I going to handle this immigration problem, this migrant problem? When the president has to ask his advisors on how he can come up with a way to appease foundational Black Americans, that lets you know that we right here. We right here, and we only right there because we getting it in. And it all starts with these people come over here and they cloak themselves in our Blackness. This is what we got to be honest about. We have to be honest, y'all. These people come over here, they cloak themselves in our Blackness, and therefore they get entitled to a lot of things that don't belong to them. All right. And they have no shame about it. Let's make this clear. This is why we call for foundational Black American independent thought, independent action. The reason why we're going to move forward in the future as foundational Black Americans solely squarely about ourselves. The reason being, y'all, is because they're coming up with some real deep, elaborate plots to steal from us. And they're going to use every single Mr. and Mrs. Mutombo that they can find. Trust me, this is the plan. When Joe Biden says that we're going to invest $55 billion in Africa, they only doing that because FBA is on code. Yes, indeed. When they're having tether reparations, conventions and rallies pop up all over the country, they're only doing that because of foundational Black Americans. And not let me just say all over the country. They're having them all over the world. We just broke it down last week. They had a reparations committee summit conference, flew in every single leader from Africa, everyone from Jamaica, Haiti, the whole diaspora, and they left us out. They left us out with words. They left us out with actions. No invite for us. These people are genuinely trying to team up to steal what foundational Black Americans have. And they're sending these people over here left and right. We've already broke down the way the Black immigrant statistics are going to increase by 2060. It's already in motion. And when these people come over here, they're going to say things like, well, we can't let y'all get Black History Month, because they don't give a damn about what we've created. If they cannot scam us individually, they're going to do what they always do. They're going to go run the massa. But what we've been doing is we've been highlighting and exposing the way they feel truly about us that no one wants to really talk about. And now we really pushing that line. And we know it, man. Y'all know we done heard it. Can't nobody tell the Black grassroots about what's really going on, about what's really happening more than us, because we've been the ones on the front line seeing these folks trying to break everything. It's that backstabbing mentality. If I can't have it, nobody can have it. I'm telling y'all, they want to either steal what we got or stop what we got. If they cannot steal our reparations, the new plan is to add confusion to it. They ain't never want no damn reparations. How come the reparations movement did not get popping until FBA got it popping? The whole world that we just talked about, all these countries, they had their opportunities to get reparations booming. Ain't nobody get reparations moving. They ain't moving 1 inch. We start talking reparations, now they start talking reparations. We start talking about money, they start talking about money. They're only here to confuse it, family. And what's going to end up happening, they're going to try to get the Democrats to cut a reparations check and hand it off over to them. Their very presence in our reparations conversation is only to dilute it. Dr. Claude talked about this years ago. He said they bring in different people to dilute what we're doing. So not only are they trying to steal our reparations, they're trying to dilute it to the point where they just get it for themselves. And we ain't gonna let that happen because we've been exposing it step for step, one by one, every single goddamn day. Moving on. Family, check this out. This is more. Listen to the main spite, jealousy, envy, and everything that they have for foundational Black Americans. And we see, fam, we not going for it at all. So every time they run their mouth about us, we gonna regulate right on back. Clapback game is serious. Check this out, family. This is the way they really feel about us. This is what they really don't want out there. And this is what we really gonna put on the table. Any secret, any lie, anything they've been trying to hide, the fake friendship, the fake solidarity, and the fake reality, foundational Black Americans are gonna expose it all. Check it out. Watch the way that foundational Black Americans get talked about.
Love to travel to the continent of.
This is for the African Americans who think exactly like her, because I know it's not all of you. Whenever you decide to buy a ticket and visit another country, predominantly Africa or the Caribbean, can you please make sure to leave that stereotypical mindset that was inflicted upon you by these white people that oppressed you at the door before you enter? And if you can't do that, simply don't go. A girl went to Africa and someone got injured. Oh my God, someone got injured. Someone's phone got stolen. Oh my God, someone's phone got stolen. Sweetheart, you are from a country where a teenager can go to Walmart and buy a gun. America has the highest number of serial killers. You are from a country where when a white teenager feels depressed, he goes and shoots up a school. You are from a country where people who look exactly like you get murdered in broad daylight.
Notice, family, first off, notice the hair. What you're going to see with all of these twirlers talking about FBA, they all got the same look. And that look reeks of zaddy chasers. So you literally have somebody who literally has a how to be a zaddy swirler trying to talk about foundational Black Americans. And notice every single example that she just gave about what's going on in our country is violence that comes from the dominant society. They always try to dump what the dominant society does back on us. These aren't people who really care about the condition. If they really rocking with certified foundational Black Americans, they say, how can we get it in together? They don't talk about getting it in together, family. What does she end up talking about? You people have a country where people from the dominant society can go and do whatever they want. Yep. And they do the same thing in your goddamn continent. It's called colonizer. We're not letting nobody who gets colonized talk about foundational Black Americans, especially somebody whose wig is at a 45-degree angle and the edges is burnt up.
With all the evidence to show that they were actually murdered and never get any justice. So please explain to me how you can boldly acknowledge crime or incidents elsewhere, but you can't notice it in your own backyard. So crazy to me how the Western world have conditioned and convinced themselves and the people in their community to believe that crime exists everywhere else apart from the Western world. No, because let me do this again. Did people not die at Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester, England? Did Kim Kardashian not get robbed at gunpoint?
Ariana Grande and Kim Kardashian? What the hell they got to do with FBA? And by the way, look at her goddamn eyes. They bucking. They bucking. Look at that. She got an overbite, underbite, sideways bite, and them eyes is bucking, y'all. This is what we talking about. This is what we speaking on, family. There we go again. Another example. She did not provide any examples of us. She's talking about the dominant society, Kim Kardashian. She's not talking about foundational Black Americans, but yet she's trying to put that on us. This is the spite that they have for us. And yet it's coming from somebody whose continent gets colonized every Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We ain't rocking with it.
In Paris. And yet you still only acknowledge that crime exists in Africa? Some of these people are the same ones who will come on social media and make these stereotypical jokes about Africa, about the fact that Africa doesn't have any water. Meanwhile, Michigan don't have none neither. You lot will come on.
Okay, well, Michigan doesn't have water, and that is, first off, Michigan has it. Flint, Michigan doesn't, and that is a small town in America. You're comparing your whole continent of all them Black folks. We know why. We're in the system of supremacy. Okay, we're in a system of supremacy where there are nothing but supremacists around us. That's why we have an issue and we're doing something about it. How about all that oil? How about all them diamonds and all them resources that you're standing on? How come you ain't fixed your water problem? And I'm not talking about in your small little village. I'm talking about in your whole continent. You left that out there, didn't you? But you still found time to put on that fucked up ass wig. You need to worry about the water. Quit worrying about the wig and focus on the water, and you might be somewhere, Miss Joloff.
on this app and stay shouting about how they live in mud huts and how they live in trees, but will never take a moment to look at the statistics of homelessness in LA and New York. People like you will come on this app and stay preaching and talking about how impoverished and poor and disadvantaged and how sad it is to be African and live in Africa because of how Africa is. Meanwhile, you're getting oppressed in your own country. Believe it or not, it's the same way when some of them go to the Caribbean. And you know, funny enough, same thing happens in Jamaica. Same thing. If you ever travel to Jamaica, just make friends with one of the staff at the hotel and ask them the worst guests who visit, and they will boldly tell you African Americans. And you wonder why some Caribbeans and Africans simply just don't like some of you. Because you lot come here and stay in other people's business and stay talking shit, knocking your cent against somebody else's dollar. You lot can really stay at the land of the free that ain't free. You really can stay there. Nobody's begging to carry your bag and come. You understand? Don't buy tickets. Stay home. Good night.
Family. First off, let me go all the way back to the beginning. This started off with this woman right here saying, I absolutely love to travel to the continent of Africa. That was her response to the lady saying she likes Africa. This is what happens when someone says they actually like Africa, they rock with Africa, they go to the continent. They get in return that right there. And also notice, family, that what they've been doing, they slide in real quickly, family, real quickly, Jamaica. This is what we spoke about the reparations movement, fam. They're now including Jamaica and Africa, all right? This is when we say that the diaspora as a whole are now starting to team up because individually they cannot steal from foundational Black Americans. They cannot replace us. They cannot take what's ours. So all of a sudden you're starting to hear these Africans and these Jamaicans making business deals. You're starting to see heads of state. They flying over there. They working out together. This lets you know that they're trying to get in on foundational Black Americans, and they cannot do that by themselves. So now there's this alliance. It's really a diaspora alliance. And we spoke about that last week. And we start talking about how when you have a reparations summit way the hell over in Africa, but no foundational Black Americans are there, but yet you see Jamaicans there, you see all types of Caribbeans, you see Haitians there, and all types of Africans, but there's no FBA there, then that already lets you know who the ops are. I told you, the ops are very, very easy to detect. All you got to do is be real. All you got to do is be certified. So that person right there talking, that's what happens when someone says that they actually rock with Africa. And then on top of that, you're going to have the person who comes in and has more excuses on why we all just need to work it out together. Be very cautious when someone's talking about foundational Black Americans and they do the it goes both ways. It does not go both ways. I'm here to say that, family. All right. Hatred towards foundational Black Americans does not go both ways. All right. They hate us. We don't think about them. I said it. People ain't been wanting to hear it. People want to walk that tightrope. Damn that. All right. Foundational Black Americans stay in their own lane. We created that term. Foundational Black Americans mind our own business. We created that term. And everybody else has us in their mind. Nobody from over here wakes up and thinks about people from over there. The only time they come up is when we roasting and we G-checking after they done try to play us, hustle us, and scam us. So foundational Black Americans are going to continue to regulate anybody who gets off code, out of pocket, and out of line with us. And we're going to continue to stay on our path. We are multitaskers, okay? Which means we can G-check your ass and still go to the bank and cut that check. It ain't done that, family. Here we go. Watch more talk from
in
this
LA and New York, impoverished. Own country.
family.
Believe it or not, why some Caribbeans stay talking shit, knocking your
Before coming to America was my last name, my village.
Watch this lady right here say what we've been saying, family. She said she has never identified with a race. She said all she identifies with is her ethnicity, her last name, her tribe, and her village. Now, there's a whole lot of problems with that, family, because whenever we identify with our ethnicity, we're seen as divisive. But yet they'll turn around and tell us that they don't see themselves as Black. If you're trying to get Black empowerment with somebody who says they don't know what Black is, you better go find somebody who does. Proceed.
I'm trying to explain this as fast as I can. The identification that I had before coming to America was my last name, my village, and my tribe. Does that make sense? Right? And I grew up in an all Black, like African people only. So no one was talking about any other race as far as like an identity type of thing. But we knew the word Black existed and stuff like that. But you just can you can walk around African people in that space calling yourself Black, because at that point we're all African. Now, fast forward to the state, it's like now you have to add that label to who you are. Now, for some adults, they might feel like it's a betrayal because our identity is your last name, your village, and your tribe.
She said for some adults, it might feel like a betrayal by having to identify as Black because they are that tribalistic and that focused on their own. But yet when foundational Black Americans such as myself, Black Alpha Network, says that we are focused on our own, they tell us we are being divisive. I said it before, family. Ain't nobody got a problem doing it. They just got a problem when foundational Black Americans do it. When we come to the party, all of a sudden it's an issue. So therefore, these people trying to tell us that we need to get on board with some type of Pan-Africanism when yet Pan-Africans don't even see themselves as Black, that ain't gonna work.
Now you have to add Black to it.
I don't think that they should cut a reparations check to every Black person and then call it a day.
First off, y'all, look at that forehead. I know y'all can't see it because I know it's like an optical tether illusion. That dude actually has hair, but his hairline is so far back, you can't even see a piece of hair on his head. I'm telling y'all, that man got hair. It's just way the fuck back. Look at that Freedmen forehead and watch what he's about to say. Is it any shocker again that somebody with a forehead that big, that many diameters, is about to say that he believes we do not deserve reparations? So we had the one person who said foundational Black Americans are violent, skipped over to the other person who says they don't identify with Black only tribe. Now watch this person say he doesn't believe that we should get reparations. And notice, family, it starts off with what? It starts off with American kids having a flag, and it's clear that person ain't American. He said, when it comes to the United States, I don't think that they should cut a check. But yet that's none of his damn business because he clearly is not from the United States of America. Again, sticking your nose in our business when you need to be worrying about the poorest conditions on your own continent. If nobody's going to call it out, we going to call it out today, certified family.
I don't think that they should cut a reparations check to every Black person and then call it a day. True reparations, which will repair the damage that's been done, requires intense social and psychological reworkings that starts at the individual level, which probably won't happen in our lifetimes. So I think offering quality generational therapy free of cost would be a good step in the right direction. Countries like the UK, France, Spain, Portugal, Holland, as well as Norway owe the descendants of slaves in the Caribbean, as well as Latin America, compensation therapy and a leg up in the global economy. Will they do this? Probably not. Money systems in society right now is just way too complicated. And this complicatedness raises some hard questions. Do African immigrants get a check too?
Oh, how you knew that was going to come up? You see? Do African immigrants get a check too? How we know that that's what this was really about? That's what he really wants to start off talking about. It really had everything to do with him trying to include his people, because this is what all of this has to do. What I say, there's two eras, family, before reparations and after reparations. And this is just us speaking about reparations. Imagine what happens when we actually go out and get our reparations. It is going to be a complete 180. And this is what they're trying to do right there. So how'd you know, family, that he was going to twist and turn it and at the very end include immigrants? We broke that down before too. We said that they'll give us this long list. They'll say about 5 paragraphs. And at the very tail end, before they stop, then they'll throw in what they really wanted to talk about the whole time. He wanted to start off talking about immigrants. He just knew that we would be on to him. And yes, we were. So Mr. Mutombo, and what y'all said in the chat, his hairline starts on his back. Yes, he was running that same type of game, that same type of hustle that they all do. Once again, what does this have to do with him? Why are you involved? Why are you thinking about it? What do you have at stake that foundational Black Americans even care about you? You're in our politics. You're in our world speaking on what we're doing. And then you got the nerve to put up a picture of foundational Black American kids with a American flag. Well, shouldn't you be really worried about over in Africa, your kids waving that flag? Last time I checked, family, that flag right there does not belong to Africa. That flag right there does not belong to the continent. That flag right there does not belong to the motherland. So why Are they waving that flag and got their kids doing it? FBA kids is waving foundational Black American flags. Their kids are over there waving Chinese flags. So what does it tell you, family? It tells you again, the mentality is completely different. It's completely the opposite. And nobody has time to address that. To me, you should be more focused on that right there than focus on what we got going on over here. That would be the key. Because I'm going to tell you right now, foundational Black Americans was out here waving the flag of Zimbabwe or of China or of Brazil. We would say, okay, what's that about? They over there talking about you don't need reparations. Why? But yet you're over there waving somebody else's flag. No. That is the colonized mentality. I don't see how anybody with a colonized mentality, y'all, could sit down and even open their mouth at all about what foundational Black Americans are doing. And we ain't done yet with that. No. Now let's get into the cosplaying, family, because that's the other thing they do. So we done got to the foundational Black Americans are violent. Akata really means wild cat, wild dog, fox, everything other than a slur. We done G-check that, threw that one away because we know they lying, exposed. We done already got into the guy with the hairline that's 350 yards behind him, all right, and how they tried to intrude and invade on our reparations conversation. Already to put that on the line. But family, let's talk about the cosplay. Because when we talk about them coming over here and cloaking themselves in us, saying we ain't got no culture but talking like us, saying we ain't got no culture but walking like us, saying we ain't got no culture but trying to duplicate us, y'all know they got a damn Nigerian Tupac. I ain't lying. Family, they got a Nigerian Tupac. This man is out there rapping, throwing up the West Side, talking about hit them up, all types of off-coded, lame, ridiculous, makes no goddamn sense, family. I wish that I could play y'all this with the music, but I ain't trying to hurt y'all. I ain't trying to break nobody's goddamn eardrums, family. It is terrible. This man is out there doing hit him up. He is saying that he is goddamn the African Tupac, let alone, y'all, we already had Burna Boy saying that he's the damn African Tupac. I guess he's got some competition. But family, look at this right here. Please tell me that y'all seeing what I'm seeing. This right here is the Nigerian Tupac. This man is out here on some goddamn hit him up, doing the goddamn dance. This man he got a red flag and a blue flag. That right there, y'all. Look at that. Hold up. What the hell was that? Look at this, y'all. That's the Nigerian pop. That ain't in America. No. That man, he ain't singing goddamn Dear Mama, he's singing Dear Joloff. That's what's happening. That's too Black. Learn something about it. Yeah. Everywhere you go, you see these folks mimicking our culture. Everywhere you go, you see these folks acting like foundationals. Man out here with a damn Tupac. Hell no. That man got his goddamn chest. That shit say Joloff life. Get out of here. If you sitting here trying to run with our culture, family, and then yet trying to turn around and speak on foundational Black Americans, it ain't gonna work. It don't operate that way. That's not the way the game functions, y'all. And he been running out here for a whole long goddamn time, speaking on what foundational Black Americans got going, speaking on what foundational Black Americans have been building, and speaking on what foundational Black Americans have created. And they do not like the fact that foundational Black Americans, we do not rock with that at all. But it doesn't just stop with that, fam. You got a lot of people out here who've been trying to run game on foundationals, who've been trying to get us on board with all the little things that they got going, and we ain't been pivoting off of our square. We've been standing on our square. So now let's go ahead and take this all the way. I said we was going to walk this all the way down the line. Let's talk about some people who've been running around here trying to get us to get on board with scam Africanism, all right? Scam Africanism, family, is something that we've been known don't work. Scam Africanism is something that foundational Black Americans have let go. Americans have got on a different page, and now you got people running out here trying to tell us what we need to do. Speaking of people who tell us what we need to do, it would be wrong if we did not talk about Dr. Kubar Vasquez. I'm going to say it, y'all. I'm going to say it. You've been seeing Dr. Kubar running around here lately, fam, talking about the migrant crisis. And he's saying how this migrant crisis affects us. But when it comes to reparations, it ain't us. When it comes to tangibles, it ain't us. Dr. Kubar Vasquez, he admits that the dominant society is trying to replace us with all these foreigners. But at the same time, y'all, he makes a main key point that he believes that it's an opportunity. So as we sit here and see all these folks come in with all the receipts that we don't put on the table, the same receipts that he's privy to, the same receipts that are out there, okay, this ain't hitting off of no vote. Folks speaking down on our name, coming up with racial slurs for us, trying to get in on our reparations, saying we don't need checks, got their kids waving Chinese flags. He still, with all that on the table, tells us that we need to support scam Africanism. And he sees it as an opportunity. Family, tell me, is this an opportunity or is this someone trying to get in on what we created?
The African tribal movements will see that as a problem. I see it as a possibility. The African tribal movements will see it as a problem. I see it as a possibility.
Mind you, when he says the African tribal movements, he's talking about FBA, because first off, he does not acknowledge us as Americans. Okay, the same way I can sit here and say that we ain't Africans and everybody get mad, he say that we ain't Americans. I guess it ain't a goddamn one way. So either way, when he starts talking about the tribal movements, he's talking about us, saying that we're so tribalistic. Once again, it's always FBA's fault. We're so tribalistic that this influx, invasion of African migrants is actually an opportunity that we're not going to make work because we so mean. Proceed.
First of all, let us be clear about a couple of things. And I want to make sure my immigrant Africans and my American Africans understand what I'm saying. Because I'm going to say some things that's going to piss both of you off. And I'm going to say some things that's going to support both of you. Let me say this again. I want my immigrant Africans to listen clearly, and I want my American Africans to listen clearly. I'm going to say some things that's going to piss you both off, and I'm going to say some things that both of you will enjoy. Number one, it is no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt whatsoever between these two ears that it is the agenda of the American white power structure to replace American-born Africans with African immigrants. I have no doubt in my mind that there is a replacement effort underway. I have no doubt in my mind that they would rather have a Haitian African than an American African. I have no doubt in my mind they would rather have a Jamaican African than an American African. I have no doubt in my mind they would rather have a Ghanaian African or a Senegalese African or a Nigerian African than an American African. I have no doubt. They are replacing us. You already see it in Hollywood.
If that's the case, and he just openly admitted that he knows the dominant society is trying to replace us with Africans, and yet he still goes on to cling to scam Africanism, knowing everything that he just admitted right there. Family, that's what you call a strike. That's what you call a swing and miss, all right? And that shows you that somebody is completely so far gone, you can't even really listen to him no more. When you openly say that the dominant society wants to replace us, that tells you right then and there, family, the dominant society sees the same thing that we see. They see people who are docile, submissive, and willing to work with them. So he's trying to get us, listen now, he's trying to get us to work with the same community that he believes the dominant society is trying to replace us with. He wants us to work with our replacements. Dr. Kubar done went off the deep end and can't nobody save him.
Yes, we are being replaced by the white power structure for immigrant Africans. Does that make the Haitian African my enemy? No, it does not. The Haitian African is my brother and sister. Does it make the Jamaican African my enemy? No, it does not. The Jamaican African is my brother and sister. Does it make my Ghanaian African brother and sister my enemy? No, it don't. Does it make the Senegalese brother or sister coming over here seeking asylum my enemy? No, it does not. Does it make the Nigerian African my enemy? No, it does not. Why doesn't it? First of all, my chessboard is on the global stage, not the American stage. I'm playing on a global chessboard. I'm not playing on a regional chessboard. I'm playing on a global chessboard. I'm not playing on a regional chessboard. So my issue is not whether or not more African immigrants are coming to America. My issue is not the fact that African immigrants will be 1 in 10 American Africans by 2060. That's not my issue. That to me, in and of itself, is not a problem. The problem is we're not organized. The problem is,
and the reason why we're not organized is because they do not identify with us, let alone blackness. A lot of them just say it. They don't even identify as being black. So if they don't identify with being black, how are we going to be on the same page with them? He continued to tell the Babel.
The white power structure use us against each other. How long is the continental African? How long is the American African? How long is the Caribbean African? How long is the Canadian African, the European African going to let the white power structure play us against each other? That's the question. Are there Sambos coming here from Haiti? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Jamaica? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Ghana? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Nigeria? Hell yeah, I've met some. Are there Sambos coming here from Senegal? Hell yeah, I met some. But that does not represent the sum total of the Senegalese people. That does not represent the sum total of the Nigerian people. That does not represent the sum total of the Ghanaian people or the Jamaican people.
Family, did he just hit us with they not all's bad? I think that's what he just did. I think he just hit us with they's not all's bad. But guess what? I'm not talking about all's bad. I'm talking about when they comes here, they bring that backstabbing tribalistic culture and they try to get in with the dominant society. But family, watch how he flips it on us. And yes, I'm not lying. He tries to make the comparison of them coming over here, trying to steal from us, to black folks being in the CIA and going over there. I ain't lying.
Off the behavior of just a few of them. Let me give the reverse.
Listen to this bullshit example, y'all.
For my American Africans in your feelings, let me give you the reverse. For my American Africans in your feelings, let me give you the reverse. I don't know if y'all know this. 90% of the black CIA undercover agents in Africa are American Africans. 90% of the undercover CIA agents in Africa are American Africans. 90% of the spies, 90% of America's spies in Africa are American African brothers and sisters. Why am I saying that? If you want to castigate all continental Africans because of a few Sambos who come to America and choose to identify with the white power structure, what if our continental brothers and sisters did the same thing to me? What if my continental brothers and sisters did the same thing to you? I'm supposed to be on my way to Liberia right now. I'm supposed to be loading a plane, boarding a plane to Liberia right now to keynote the bicentennial. But I couldn't do it because the brother wouldn't get my ticket right. You understand? But they accept me. They embrace me as one of their own. What if the continental Africans decided that all American Africans are Sambos because so many of us are letting the CIA use us to undermine Africa? What if the continental African said all American Africans were Sambos because we are letting the CIA and the FBI use us to infiltrate African countries?
Family, first off, what if I told him to go ahead and change that goddamn battery, all right? Because that shit beeping all over the goddamn place. Second off, did he just compare immigrants who come over here and try to take our resources and call us a kata to black folks who join the FBI? Did he really just do that? This is how much he's trying to reach when he's speaking about foundational black Americans and when he's trying to cape for everyone who comes over here. He literally just made the comparison that we should not say nothing about these people who come over here and disrespect us in our own homeland because a few of us join the FBI and go over to Africa. When you got to reach that bad, when you're going that far to try to come up with an excuse, that's when you officially have lost it and you need to bow all the way down. All the way down. That is the pan-African, scam African mentality that we are not on anymore. And this is a direct result, family, of Dr. Kubar being about 2 generations late. All right, let's just be honest, y'all. Dr. Kubar exists in a time where his precious scam Africanism ain't popping in these streets. And foundational Black Americans ain't going for it. Y'all know the guy with the dashiki on that opened his coat and he got all the goddamn fake gold watches? All right, we didn't identify that and we ain't playing that. And this is what Dr. Kubar Vasquez has to realize. It ain't that time, family. Everything that we talk about in terms of foundational Black American, everything we talk about just from the whole episode of representing our lineage, Dr. Kubar's on the other side. Because remind you, in Pan-Africanism, they don't even believe in lineage. They believe it's just race and everybody just one big you-know-what. All right, OBN. That's what they believe. And the fact that we ain't on that type of time anymore, he lost. He's all out of the way. But we got to listen to some of these misnomers that he speaks of, family. I want to break down something because now he's made the news. He's made a couple rounds lately, and he's speaking about the migrant crisis. And y'all know right here on the Black Alpha Network, we break down the migrant crisis every day. All right, we break it down and we talk about the effects of this invasion and how they're trying to take foundational Black Americans and strip away what belongs to us and give it to these other people, right? And how they're trying to elevate these other groups above us. But I want y'all to notice, strangely, out of nowhere, Dr. Kubar done popped up and he's talking about the migrant crisis. The same Dr. Kubar that was just talking about foundational Black Americans in third, fourth, and fifth person won't even acknowledge us as Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, Native Americans. He just calls us Africans in America, all right? But then also when you start talking about the migrant crisis, he starts talking about we and us in Chicago, New York, what we need to do. See, we can't allow anybody, I don't give a damn who you are, to play hopscotch with our culture. All right. You can't play jumping jacks with our culture. You can't be FBA today and then hop out and then be scam African. And when you scam African, you're talking down on us, but then you flip flop back to FBA and try to get some type of allegiance. It don't work that way. And you also can't say something about migrants unless you're talking about it in whole. Mind you, family, when he starts speaking about migrants, he leaves out the fact that we go in and we expose all of them. I don't give a damn whether your ass came from south of the border, your ass came from north of the border. If you done ran, hop, skip, jump, went over the goddamn fence or under the fence, and we've actually played videos with people doing all of those, we call them out as a whole. What I say, you can't halfway regulate. If you're going to G-check, you got to all the way G-check. And what Dr. Kubar is doing is he's talking about the migrant crisis right now, y'all, but he's talking around all of the Africans. He doesn't mention that part. Oh, yeah, y'all know Black Alpha. I'm on it. I spotted it from the get-go. Soon as he starts speaking about the migrant crisis, making these little rounds, these little interviews where he's speaking about it, he never mentions all the Africans. Family, they got something called the Biden Express. The Biden Express, in which we've exposed right here on this channel, is Africans that are catching jets. Who paid for them? Africans who have money cards. Who's putting money on the card? Who's making the deposits? We done seen it. We done exposed it. We done showed Africans saying, I got this card and it has money on it for me to come to America. You know what I'm talking about. We done showed the damn trains where they hopping on them. We done showed these folks popping up at the border. Hey, where are you? I'm from Senegal. Where are you going? New York, Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Detroit, Michigan, St. Louis, Missouri. Dr. Kubar ain't talking about none of that. When he starts talking about all the migrant crisis, he's only talking about folks who, as my brother Torian says, south of the Borderians. But he don't talk about how south of the border, people are flying in from all over the world. And when they all get here, they're trying to cloak themselves in our blackness. Family, let me break it down the real way. This is what Dr. Kubar's been on. And I want y'all to tell me, is this a contradiction? And why is he leaving out the African presence in the migrant crisis?
We got a lot to talk about. I was at the meeting last night, emergency meeting after the mayor canceled my event at the Karain Center for the Arts. We still had a powerful meeting of activists and concerned African citizens of Chicago.
One day earlier this week, already crowded facilities are being overwhelmed on Mexico's southern border with Guatemala, and a Mexican train operator has suspended operations.
But they are literally purging us.
Where are you going? Thank you, sir. You? Where are you going? Thank you. You? New York.
If they take Chicago, Black America is done.
Cars and getting hurt in the process. The number of migrants traveling.
I heard that the migrants are being armed with weapons.
Going, sir? New York. Thank you, sir. And you? Where are you going? Thank you. And you? Where are you going?
I heard that the migrants are being set up to vote in next year's presidential election.
Look at this shit here. That taxi cab right there has just dropped off these African guys. Man, I'm riding around and just seeing this shit in real time. Guys, we're at war. Look at this here. I just seen this taxi cab drop off these African guys. All these damn African guys right here in our community. Africans, guys. Look at them. Look at them right there. Look at them Africans right there. I'm looking at you, bro. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Look at them right there, guys. In our community. Look at them right there.
Wait a minute. Hold up now. According to Dr. Kubar, the migrant crisis doesn't involve any of them people. That right there was Atlanta, Georgia. That's right up the street from me. And they dropping them off all over the country. It ain't just a bunch of Chicanos getting dropped off in these black neighborhoods. No. They dropping off a lot of these people from Africa who are catching the Biden Express. And when we start talking about the Biden Express family, we got to really look what that really genuinely truly is. The Biden Express family is, be honest with you, in plain terms, let's be honest, before we go there, if you look at everything they're doing, the Biden Express, the Trump Express, the Republicans, and the Democrats, they are in a cohesive to replace foundational Black Americans. Only difference is that when Trump and the Republicans want to do it, they want to do it by economic means. If you want to talk about Joe Biden, he wants to do it by economic, social, and immigration. So we got to make it clear. The Republicans and the Democrats both want foundational Black Americans out the paint. One wants to do it simply through economics, and the Democrats want to do it across the board. So if you look at the Biden Express, that's a way of just paying people to come on in here. We said it last week, family. We got to start viewing immigration a little differently. Immigration ain't just these poor people who come over here. Now you're seeing that immigration truly, fam, are people who are being paid, well-to-do folks. And we drop them receipts all the time. They're getting paid handsomely to come over here and to replace foundational Black Americans. And they're getting dropped off in foundational Black American neighborhoods. And everybody knows it. So when you start flying jets and coming over to our homeland, then you already know who is funding these operations. Ain't no poor person from some background just flying over here, getting in on what we created, family, and not being subsidized. That is not the way the game works. That is not the way the game flows. But Dr. Kubar didn't mention none of that. No, he didn't. Only thing he talked about was everybody else. So you see, even in the mix of them trying to replace us, what is he trying to do, fam? In the mix of him trying to replace us, he is out here actually trying to cape for the people who are doing it. And then he's wagging his finger at foundational Black Americans who do not want to go along with that process. That ain't the way the game works. That ain't the way it operates. So we watching that very, very clearly. Y'all remember when he did that interview this summer? Watch what he says right here, family. Tell me that this man does not openly say that he understands why people come over here to America, and he actually understands why they hate on us. Does this sound like somebody who's being respectful? Or does this sound like somebody who is Pan-African over everything, including our own erasure? Pan-Africanism is completely in full solidarity with the immigrants over foundations. Anytime someone comes around with a Pan-African ideology, unless they're being very, very clear, they are point blank siding with the erasure opposed to us moving forward. And you can see it right here. Remember this, y'all?
The black.
Watch this. Dr. Kubar openly says, I understand why they do it.
People feel towards Black Americans.
Well, the white man's original tactic of divide and conquer, separate and rule is still his most cherished weapon against African people. You see, understandably, when people look at America up until now being, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, if you want to get down with the most powerful country in the world, you're going to have to despise who they despise.
Wait a minute. Did he say understandably? Understandably, I know why people come over here and side with the dominant society family. Do any of y'all understandably accept that answer? Hell no. I would never in my life say understandably. I see why you come over here and you hate your brother. Hell no.
His most cherished weapon against African people. You see, understandably, when people look at America up until now being, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, if you want to get down with the most powerful country in the world, you're going to have to despise who they despise. And since America has done such a great job despising African people, anybody who wants to come to this country, even if they are African, are going to seek somebody else's company other than ours, right? That doesn't make what they do right. But we have to look at the fact that we as African people in America haven't done a whole lot collectively to make ourselves the power base we should be for all African people. With our education.
Family, that sounds like excuse after excuse after excuse. That sounds like, I understand why these people come over here. I understand why they side with the dominant society. For somebody who is so scam African, he sounds like he's in complete cahoots with people coming over here and siding with the dominant society. In no way, shape, or form would I ever say, well, I understand why you side with the dominant society over another black person. I understand why you team up with them because we ain't got an economic base. Somehow it went from Mr. Mutombo and Mrs. Joloff coming over here and siding with the dominant society, and now it flip-flops on, oh, it's only because foundational Black Americans, y'all ain't got an economic base. That's what he's saying. So translation, let's give the certified translation. He's basically saying it's okay for them to come over here and side with the dominant society because FBA, we done fumbled the money bag. That's what he's saying. Point blank. That's scam African for you. That is modern day, past tense, present, going forward, scam Africanism. They will literally side with the dominant society and the recruits, the puppets, the minions of the dominant society against foundational Black Americans. That's how much they want to hold on to the fantasy of one big Africa.
With our income being the richest group of African people in the world in terms of take-home pay, we should be the power base for African people throughout the world. Y'all need institutions, we're going to fund them. Y'all have a problem with your water, we're going to fund that. You understand me? You got a medical crisis, we're going to take care of that. We have the resources, we got the personnel, we got the expertise, we got the money. We should be the power base. So when an African comes to America from out—
Wait a minute. We got the money, we got the resources and the expertise to be the power base. So let's get this right, y'all. Foundational Black Americans in the United States of America, okay, a relatively small country that is only a little over 200 years old, and is relatively probably about 50 million of us. You can split that on half on who's on code and who ain't. We should be the economic base, not Africa, not the biggest continent, not the oldest continent, not all them continents, the countries, all the words, all the diaspora, none of them. None of them should be responsible for being the economic base for Black people. It should be us. Foundational Black Americans, we should fit the bill. We should let everybody go out to the restaurant and we take the check. But yet they got all the damn resources. They standing on the resources. The very fact that you can even point at foundational Black Americans and tell us that we need to be the economic base when we are a country, and you're overlooking the continent that could be the economic base because they have the resources, lets me know that you are so far gone, so diluted, and so warped mentally that anything you say makes zero sense and should be automatically disqualified. That is your typical scam Africanism. So he gave a pass. This is just in one question. He gave a pass to Mr. Mutombo for coming over here and wanting to get a Karen. He gave a pass to Mrs. Fufu, who came over here and wants to get a Ken. He said foundational Black Americans could be the economic base for all Black people in the world because, you know, we got all the resources, right? We all standing on diamonds and gold and minerals, right? And then he overlooked and did not state anything about what's going on truly over there. That right there, family, is your average, everyday scam African. And the only reason you're seeing that type of behavior, family, is because he realizes that it is up. The jig is up. It ain't working no more. That type of game ain't running. Trust me, all their money done dried up. All that scam African money done dried up. And that's what happens when you get on code. And that's what happens when you lineage base. And it doesn't stop. See, right here, family, this is another part where Dr. Kubar now, when somebody didn't really give him what he wanted and it didn't go his way, watch the way, family, he starts speaking opposite now. Watch how he starts going in on some of the scam Africans. It's funny how when we do it, it ain't no cool. But all of a sudden, when they do it, it's all easy.
Because you damn Africans come to America, some of you, and ain't got no damn Pan-African consciousness, thinking you better than me when everything you get is the result of the struggle that we have been through. Everything you get is the result of the struggle that we have been through, and you want to turn your nose up at us because the white man gave you a refugee status.
There goes we again, y'all. There goes we. That's what I'm talking about. You playing hopscotch. You jumping in and out. Now all of a sudden it's we. Now all of a sudden it's what we needs to do. Any other time it's Black Africans in America. But now all of a sudden it's we. And every single thing he's saying right there that they come over here and want to get down with the dominant society. And this little clip, he was sitting there condoning in the last clip. Now he's talking about they get a refugee status and they look down on us. Family, that's what we've been saying. He is taking FBA talking points as well.
Card. Get your ass out my face. When you come to America and you speak Igbo or Yoruba, you speak Zulu, Swahili, you speak Akan, you don't speak no English, they don't help you find no class that teaches you English. They only care about the Hispanic kids, the Puerto Ricans and the Cubans. If you're a black child in American public school and you don't speak English, they don't give a damn about you. They put you in special ed.
Here's the thing. Them folk, they know that. They just don't give a damn. Yeah, every single thing that we've been saying, family, is always such a bad thing when we say it. But yet, he literally sounds just like a foundational Black American certified Black when he starts talking about it. But then he'll flip-flop and tell us it's all our fault. No, it ain't going to be no, you can call him out on being divisive, but we can't. It ain't going to be that you can call him out on all that off-coded behavior, but we can't. It sounds like something didn't go your way that day. It sounds like you didn't get some money from somebody. It sounds like you couldn't scam somebody. You was having a very rough time, and now you want to start speaking the truth. No, it don't work. No. That ain't the way the ball bounces. That ain't the way the game goes. We know exactly the type of time these people have been on because they've always been on this time. The secrets and everything that people have been hiding about the diaspora and how they genuinely, truly feel, family, this is all coming to an end. Watch this brother right here talk about how he was over in Africa and they completely overpriced him while they allowed Karen and Ken to do what they wanted.
I went out to a club, and I went in the club. The host says, basically the club has nothing but tables. There's all tables. Yeah. In order to get a table to get in, you have to have a 2,000 minimum. Yeah. Right? 2,000 minimum spend. Yeah. Yeah, serious. Okay, no issues. Yeah. I ain't sweating that. I'm not okay. But let me see how this thing is gonna do first before I do that. Okay. She said, okay, we sat down. Now, I know when I seen these white boys sitting down buying 3 drinks the whole night, 3-4, those 3 drinks could not have cost 2,000. So I told my friend, I was like, yo, bro, how come they came up to us and told us, but get a table, we got to spend this. But there's white people, it's like at least 4 white people here. They don't have a bottle or nothing. Yeah. I know that don't cost. He said, oh man, white people here in Kenya, in Ghana, bro, is not in their DNA to do that. So they let them, it's okay for them. They don't have to. What? Yeah, man. Really? Bro, I know cocktails don't cost no 2,000. Which bar? Mad Club. Mad Club? Yes. Cocktails don't cost no 2,000. If you were a chick and let's say y'all get 3 drinks, that's 6 drinks. There's no way 6 drinks is gonna be 2,000 CDs. Wow, guys, if you've experienced this the same as Mad Club, let me know. Comment down below. What? For real? This is crazy. In Accra, Ghana. I shouldn't put the name of the club out there. No, I think it's good. It's good. So they made the black people spend minimum of 2,000 to get a table, but a white person can sit at the same table. It was not as many white people though. I would say it was probably like 4 or 5 white people. But I watched. I'm sitting down. I'm paying attention, and I'm saying to myself, "Dang, I ain't never gonna be able to go in this club no more, bro. Wow. I don't care. I just don't go."
Can we be 100, family? Can we be 100? Can we talk about how standing up on your own, fighting for what's yours, doing what you got to do is an FBA thing? Can we talk about how we're the only lineage who has ever stood up to the system of global supremacy? Can we talk about how we're the only ones who even acknowledge global supremacy? They literally talk about us. You guys are so colonized, and they have colonizers right there. Can we not talk about that, family, or is that just too much? Is that too much for foundational Black Americans to acknowledge every single thing that has been proven? The very fact that these folks allow people to come to their country, colonize them right in front of them, and say nothing? We've been the only ones pushing the line. We've been the only ones putting in work. There is something over there where they are so in love with Massa that they will invite Massa to their home. Massa can walk in their house. Massa can do anything, and they never, ever say a word, but always got smoke for FBA. Ain't that funny, y'all? They always got smoke for us. If you start talking about these people ever having an attitude, ever having an issue, I guarantee you they are always going to find some type of issue with foundational Black Americans. But they don't ever find no issue with their poor behavior. It's the same thing. The same way Dr. Kubar was sitting there making excuses And he's saying, well, I understand why they come over here and why they side with the dominant society. The same way that brother right there was talking about how they was getting overpriced while the dominant society sitting there getting whatever they wanted. These people have all of that in their nature. These folks got all of that in their soul. We, FBA, are not the same as them. We different. We always been different. We done always move different. We going to continue to move different. This is what has to be acknowledged. And until it gets known, put on the table, genuine, sincere facts, it is always going to be something that pops up. Speaking of popping up, family, we're not done. Watch this right here. This is another receipt. And every single thing, I told y'all, we was going to lay it all on the line and we was going to put it on the table. And we're going to call out every single thing that they do. So when they try to come back, when they try to run that game, when they try to get upset, they ain't going to have no choice but to accept what we on. This right here is a brother calling it out. He sees the same thing that we've been seeing. He sees the latest scam that they up to and how they trying to take from us. Watch this.
Attention, the latest Africanist scam that's going on with reparations at the moment is that now they're saying, well, because of BRICS or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa having the union and them having their own currency, that's why, chasing reparations is a pipe dream. They're looking for any excuse to discourage us and to keep us off our square. Keep your eye on the prize. Get what we're supposed to get. Tell this government to cut the check and pay reparations to the descendants of slaves, the black ones, the ones who claim to be black. You got some folks out there who try to actually claim to be everything else but black. And when it comes time for the dollar amounts to start getting discussed, suddenly you get every excuse in the world as to why we shouldn't get our money. When these people start saying stuff like this, well, BRICS is going to make the dollar devalue, so don't look at reparations. Ignore those folks. Black folks, pay attention.
Dr. Kubar has been one of the main people running with that, y'all. That's one of the main things. Oh, y'all don't need reparations because BRICS is going to mess up the dollar. So that's what it is now, y'all. It's y'all don't need it because it's going to mess up the dollar. All right. This is what it is. It's another way, as that brother said, to try to discourage us from getting what's ours. It's everything you can find that will stop foundational Black Americans from collecting the check. They'll try to come up with every little committee and everything, but not their person has lifted a finger to actually help. If they put any piece of the energy that they have hating on us towards actually trying to get things done, then somebody might actually hear them out. But the reason why we don't is because we know that they ain't on the same time operating. And when we talk about everything that they dealing with, we start talking about all the colonizers, because mind you, family, pretty much every single colonizer on the planet Earth has colonized Africa. Right now, you're seeing what they're calling the re-scramble for Africa, okay? The re-scramble. Which means you already had one scramble, which means taking your stuff. Now you having a part two. They had one back in the day. Now they're having another one right here today. So now foundational Black Americans are out here fighting for reparations. And we looking over to Africa, the same ones where they try to sell us the Wakanda package to go back home, brother. And we seeing y'all got a colonizer problem. You got two main colonizers. You have China and you have America. And now you've been colonized to the point and so many times that your colonizers are trying to fight with each other on who can colonize you. You know that you are low budget and weak when your colonizers are actually having a colonizer battle. What was they having a couple years ago? Versus. All right, they had the versus, one rapper, one singer versus one singer. China and America are having a goddamn colonizer versus over Africa. But yet they talk about foundations. But yet they speak on us. But yet you got foundational Black American business coming out of their mouth. It don't work that way, Mutombo. And even in the midst of all that, family, they still find time to hate on us. They still find time to talk about us using them. Watch this guy right here. And I need y'all to see this, family. Watch this guy, and he tries to claim that foundational Black Americans are over there taking their land. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. We only speak because we got receipts, y'all. Everybody knows that they are being re-scrambled over in Africa as we speak. They are getting their land took for the 100th time. You got one colonizer on this side of the village, another colonizer on that side of the village, but yet you're talking about foundational Black Americans stealing your land. That level of off-codedness, that level of tap dancing cannot be quantified, but it's happening over there. Leave it up to them, family. Watch this.
Some African Americans are purchasing land in West Africa at the expense of local people. I have more than 7 elders from the Senegambia region complaining over this, serving as evidence. They buy land, inflate the prices, so local Senegambian people have a more difficult time buying rice and other commodities. They purchase large areas of land in the best coastal regions, forcing Africans who want to buy land far into the rural areas. And I have reports that some Americans are mocking the local Senegambian culture, mocking Islam, pushing Kemetic religion, which upsets the people a lot. This American hostile takeover of African land is done in a capitalistic manner, so there's no trickle-down effect, no new roads.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This American hostile takeover? This American hostile takeover? And family, he ain't talking about the dominant society. He's talking about us. That's the year of the return stuff. This man in the middle of the re-scramble for Africa 2.0 is talking about FBA. This is why we say we live in these folks' minds rent-free. This is why we say you cannot build with these people. You cannot work with these people. We have to be independent. Everything we do has to be for us. You let some people like this in your movement, and you ain't moving. Trust me.
No new infrastructure built to benefit the local people. It only selfishly benefits the rich American capitalists. The same people who are doing hostile takeover of African land are accusing Arabs of being invaders, Chinese of being invaders. And to the diaspora, they are smoke screening by shoving African identity politics on us. You cannot blind Uncle Sufi. I know what is going on in the continent. Here's my advice. Africa needs BRICS and socialism to stop hostile takeover of African land by Americans. Moreover, Black history is good, but be careful with some people who talk about Black history. There's a hidden agenda behind it.
There's a hidden agenda behind it. No, family, that right there is what we're talking about. That right there is your typical average everyday person from that side. And you already can tell the type of time that he's on and the way he's pushing and moving, that they always somehow will try to find a way to deflect the energy back on certifieds. That's just what they do. All else fails, try to blame FBA. You know what I mean? Your words ain't working. Your movements, your decisions is bad. You done fumbled the bag for hundreds of goddamn years. You could always just fall back and say, well, FBA did it. That's pretty much where they are right now. FBA did it. FBA this, FBA that. But it ain't ever anything genuine, and it ain't ever something sincere. See, when you start talking about sincere and you start talking about something that's genuine, that is what benefits the collective. See, they got to come at us with this type of fake mentality because they want to benefit themselves. This is what it's all about. They are trying to sell us out the same way they sell each other out, and they're upset that we're not pushing that line and we're not going for that. This is the difference between our culture, their culture, our heritage, their heritage. We are people who keep it all the way 100. We're people who've been real since day one. We are people who know exactly what we want, where we're going, how to get on code. We call out people who are off code. They don't do that. People like that guy right there are running them up. They everywhere. They everywhere all over the place, family, and they ain't got no time to stop. And as long as they continue to keep staying on that type of time, we're going to continue to keep on regulating because they cannot have what we got. I'm telling y'all, this is what it all boils down to. This generation is going to be defined by us keeping people like that out of our circle. That's what it's going to be, y'all. It's going to be us keeping that type of energy out of our circle. We cannot allow those people inside of our circle. You know what I mean? The fix is in. They're literally trying to prop up people. Y'all remember when they was wearing all those dashikis and kente cloths and all that? The reason why they've been trying to really get foundational Black Americans on an African time is so it's easier for them to try to tie in with us. That's why. They want foundational Black Americans to be tied in to Africa because now they can tie them in to our reparations claim. And they know if they give them reparations, they're going to go right along with it. It's going to be easy work. You give them reparations, our money, and I guarantee you, family, you're going to see the same type of backstabbing culture. They know foundational Black Americans, we're going to flip it. We're going to get it up. We're going to build. And that is what they do not want. That's what they're running from. That's what they're hiding from. We all seen it, family. We've been watching every step and every move that they've been making. And every move that they've been making, y'all, is one that is trying to get foundational Black American reparations. This is what it's all about. Even to the point, y'all, where they have literally propped up people just so they can play a role. There's some new faces that you're going to see that's going to be popping up out of nowhere. And these people, y'all, I promise you, are going to be the folks who are going to lead the charge of trying to hijack our reparations. The main one is the president of Ghana. Y'all been seeing this dude pop up everywhere. I want y'all to check this out. This was that little reparations summit thing that they had a couple days ago. This is him right here. And I want y'all to notice, he is their paid op, okay? He is their paid operative that is out here right now pushing the reparations the most. This is the main one. This guy is the one that the dominant society, particularly Joe Biden, the Kamala Harris administration, they've been using this guy right here the most to be the one that tries to facilitate some type of global Pan-African reparations movement, because that's what's coming next, y'all. It's going to be the global Pan-African reparations movement, and they're pushing that to try to stifle and dilute and downplay our foundational Black American grassroots movement. They're coming with a counter, and this guy is controlled. Trust me when I tell you. Watch this right here, fam. This is him.
Predictably, the question of reparations becomes a debate only when it comes to Africa and Africans. When the British ended slavery, all the owners of enslaved Africans received reparations to the tune of some 20 million pounds sterling, the equivalent today of some 20 billion pounds sterling. But enslaved Africans themselves did not receive a penny. Likewise, in the United States of America, owners of slaves received $300 for every slave they owned. The slaves themselves received nothing.
This meeting is
Why is he speaking on our reparations? Why is he speaking on foundational Black Americans? Remember, y'all, that's the same year to return. That's the same talk. Oh, we about to break it down. Smash that like button, y'all. We about to break it down. This right here is this controlled opposition diaspora reparations movement that the Democrats, specifically the Democrats, are trying to put in place so they can stifle our reparations claim. They want our reparations claim to go from domestic and grassroots to foreign and all-inclusive. They don't want a foundational Black American reparations claim. They really want an African reparations claim. This is why when Dr. Kubar Vasquez, much love, Dr. Kubar, when Dr. Kubar was sitting here talking about he understands why these people come here, he gets it. It's okay to come here and work with the dominant society. That's why you can't say nothing off code like that. That's why anybody who says something like that, disqualified, check. That's why, because when you speak about these people teaming up with the dominant society, they want to do that on an immigration level, but now you're starting to see it on a global level. They want to take this guy right here. They want to prop him up as the reparationist. They want that guy to be Dr. Claw. Anytime they have a reparations question, they want to go to him. Reparations Summit, go to him. And they've been funding him for a long time, putting him in position to where he can do exactly what he's doing right now. Family, y'all know we got receipts. Watch this right here, fam. This is the same person being propped up left and right so he can serve as the reparations proxy in between what foundational Black Americans got going and with the whole goddamn diaspora, family. This is what the dominant society does. They cannot break our movement, so now they're trying to put people in the middle. And these are the same people who are coming over here as immigrants, but it's also the same people who are coming over here to get in on what we created. This guy, Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo, addressed the United Nations General Assembly, urging African nations to receive reparations for the historical injustices stemming from the transatlantic slave trade. Let me break that down, family. What this was before that reparations summit they had last weekend. A lot of people don't know that he had already went to the United Nations and had a whole reparations speech that he gave, which was a prelude to the reparations convention they had last weekend. This is him being funded by the United States government so he can run these type of con games and he can be put in position to be the one big NIGGA reparations leader. This is what they're doing. They'll never do this with somebody from the Black grassroots. They'll never do this with somebody who has genuine approaches and procedures to get us the bag, they'll put people like this in play. Adu, whatever the hell his name is, emphasize the developed world's historical role in enslaving Africans and called for reparations to acknowledge the unpaid labor of millions. He highlighted that much of Europe and the United States prospered from the wealth generated by the transatlantic slave trade. No shit. We've been saying that forever. But he goes to the United Nations and gets this talk. The president has been a vocal advocate for reparations. Whoa, that part right there. Let me highlight that for the family. The president has been a vocal advocate for reparations. You got to always study the words, y'all. Always watch what they say. All right. The dominant society and their minions, they're always going to say what they're really working on. They're going to say it clearly. You just got to catch it. You got to learn how to train your eyes. We got trained eyes. That's one thing about us in the black grassroots. You say something, we're going to see it. What they're really meaning right there when they said he's always been an advocate for reparations, no, the hell he ain't. He became a reparationist when foundational black Americans got it popping, just like the whole goddamn world. Nobody, let me make this clear. Let me make this certified in my FBA translation Black Alpha Network. Nobody was talking reparations until FBA got it popping in these streets. And it started in St. Louis. It started in Detroit. It started in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, California. It started right here, New York City. This is where it started. It did not start with Africa. It did not start with Mexico. It did not start with Jamaica or Haiti. The reparations movement in this generation is the only reparations movement that has really done anything, and we are all responsible for it. All of us right now in the chat, we are more responsible as your average, everyday tax-paying American citizens for reparations ever being spoken of than the whole diaspora collectively put together. Nobody is going to steal the reparations momentum from us. No one is going to try to put on a badge. And this is what they're doing with him. They're trying to put badges all over his shirt, trying to make him the colonel of reparations. That's what the dominant society does, y'all. If they can't see you in the grassroots, they just select somebody and elevate them. That's all they do. It's like these comedians, right? Let me give y'all an example. When we were younger, a comedian had to go through the black grassroots. We had to bless him before he got the $1 million opportunities. We had to say, no, we like Chris Tucker. All right, we like Eddie Murphy. Yep, we like Cat Williams. Then the dominant society said, man, no, we can't do that. We can't let these people come up through the black grassroots, because if they come up through the black grassroots, then they're going to be too certified, too authentic. Let's just go find, I don't know, Kevin Hart, and we'll just cut him to the front of the line and he'll get all the opportunities. You see what I'm talking about? It's the same thing back with hip hop and R&B. You had to go through the table. You had to go through the chitlin circuit. We had to bless you before the dominant society ever looked at you. Before you got the $1 million, billion-dollar opportunities, you had to come through the black grassroots. Point blank, period. The dominant society says, instead of doing that, let's just go hand select somebody and let's just elevate them without putting in any work. That is exactly what this guy is doing. This guy has been elevated to a position of being some leader in reparations because they know the real leaders in reparations reside right here in foundational Black American, each and every last one of us. That's the real part. Now, as they proceed, family, watch the language. The president has been a vocal advocate for reparations, pushing the discussion and formal apologies. You knew apology was coming. And what do I always say? Any reparationist or any reparations movement that includes the word apology is not sincere. It is sponsored by the dominant society. So this man went to the United Nations, gave a whole long goddamn speech, broke it all the way down just for him to be the main forefront person. They say he gave a powerful message at the United Nations General Assembly calling for reparations to rectify the historical injustices stemming from the transatlantic slave trade. He emphasized that it is high time for African nations to receive compensation for suffering inflicted during this dark period of history. Notice that right there, family. They start talking about reparations at the United Nations, okay? But he only refers to African nations. See, on one hand, they're trying to get us to believe that he's some type of global reparationist. that is here to serve all black people. I thought it was Pan-African. He starts talking about being a Pan-Africanist. So it's funny how it's Pan-African. You go to the United Nations. Last time I checked, that means everybody. Pan-African means all. Pan means all. Okay. United Nations means United Nations. Okay. America runs the goddamn United Nations. So it's funny how you go from the United Nations in Pan-Africanism, but when you start talking about money, when you start talking about the check, then all of a sudden it's just for African nations. Now, mind you, family, that was a few months ago. Fast forward to a week ago, he was talking about reparations with all the Jamaicans, and they left us out again. They left us out again. So you see, they only include us when it's time to steal, and then when it's time to take, then everybody else comes in. What I say, they get close enough to foundational Black Americans so they can get the bag. They snatch the bag and run. This is a cash grab. This is a snatch the bag and run the fuck out the building with FBA money. This is what we are talking about, family. And anytime they start saying something along the lines of, he gave a powerful message. He gave a powerful message. First off, family, this is MSN. All right. MSN. When have you ever heard MSN or any of these people ever refer to the reparations conversation and use the term powerful? He said something so strong, so powerful. You've never heard that, family. You've never heard that. The reason why you've never heard that, fam, is because they do not support our reparations claim. That's why. When it comes to this guy, all of a sudden, the language changes. Let foundational Black Americans say something about reparations. We get the damn James Clyburn. Why ain't you fucking with me? How about HR 40? I wrote the bill. How about that? Where are we going to get the money from? Let's do a study. I don't hear them talking about no damn study with this guy. With this guy, I don't see nothing about no damn study. They're straight up talking, straight to the point, and praising this man. Talking about he gave a goddamn great speech. He ain't gave no damn speech that we ain't heard on the damn Twitter space. All right, let's make that clear. He ain't said nothing that we have not heard on a Twitter space. You got 20-year-old foundational Black Americans that have mollywopped this guy when it comes to reparation speeches. But yet all of a sudden, they want us to look at this guy as some type of reparations leader, some type of reparationist, and they're saying how he gave some type of powerful speech. He didn't give nothing powerful. This is what they do, family. They start praising these people. They start uplifting these people. And then next thing you know, you're going to see him everywhere. When you start to see him everywhere, then that's when you know that the fix is all the way in. And eventually, family, he's going to start popping up on news outlets right here in the United States of America. And they're going to talk about how he's such a great ally. And they're going to tie it all the way in with reparations. This is the fix, and the diaspora is completely all the way down with it, y'all. And you know that the fix is in. Oh, we dug. We did some real research right here on the Black Alpha Network. We pulled up some receipts on this clown. All right. And family, when you know the fix is in, look at this right here. I want y'all to see this right here. Check this out. This is how you know everything we're saying is true. African of the Year. Let me show you who they selected. By the way, this is Forbes. Okay. The African of the Year right there is Mr. Joe Law from Ghana. Yes, it is, family. This man is being positioned and this man is being propped up to tie us in to his global reparations. This is a global reparations sabotage of our Black grassroots reparations. That is exactly what this is. And he is the main man on the forefront of everything, y'all. I guarantee you this is what they're doing. The African of the Year, really? With all the stuff going on, family, this man is the African of the Year. They say he has repositioned the country in the global marketplace as one resilient on his own resources and strengths. He is redefining economic development, and it's resonating across Africa. In an exclusive interview with Forbes Africa, he dwells on the new focus of the West African nation that has in recent years consistently been one of the world's fastest growing economies. Anytime you see something like that, y'all, can I give you the translation? The translation really is basically saying he is in bed with the United States of America. He is working with the United States of America, and he is the puppet of the United States of America. That is what that means, y'all. That is what that means solely. This man is nothing more than being propped up as the new face of the reparations movement. This man is being propped up as the main person that's going to try to sabotage our reparations. And then when you start looking at the guy, look at some of the people he's been hanging out with. Oh, check this out, y'all. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got it. We working. Check this out. This man, this was in 2013. As part of the ongoing U.S. African Leaders Summit, I held meetings with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi. Look who he been mobbing with. You think this all just one big coincidence? One big coincidence that out of nowhere, there's this reparations committee where they're at the goddamn UN talking about reparations, and it's the same person who's been hanging out, rubbing shoulders with people like Nancy Pelosi, let alone Joe Biden, let alone Kamala Harris. No, this is why we say we are not African. We are not African, family. We completely remove ourselves from this. The more people run around like Dr. Kubar, and we got to be real, when you run around here and you start talking about we're all one big African, guess who else is saying we all one big African? This guy. Guess who else wants us to be one big African? Joe Biden wants us to be one big African. Because if we're all one big African, then that means we have to share our reparations check with Africa. One more time. If we're all one big African, then we all got to share one big reparations check. And that means that the money has been taken out of our hands and the money has been placed in the hands of all the people in the diaspora. And I guarantee you, they'll cut this big African check. And the next thing you know, family, that man right there will be holding that goddamn check. I promise you that. I promise you that. That's exactly what it is. So when you seen Joe Biden going over to Africa talking about giving them $55 billion, this was all what the play was. This is all what the play was, y'all. Simple as that. Easy work, like a part-time job. And he was hanging out with all the little Democrats. Look at him over there. Look at him over there, shinning and grinning, y'all. Shinning and grinning. Hanging out. Look at him. That boy bucking them eyes. Bucking them. Bucking them eyes. Look at him. Over there hanging out with all the damn Democrats. He ain't with no Republicans. Why he ain't with no Republicans? So you mean to tell me that this man, he is from Ghana, working with the U.S., but yet all the times you see him, he's with Democratic shills? Why you always with Democratic shills? Other than you're being paid exclusively from the Joe Biden administration, and your job is simple. Your job is to create a global African reparations movement that can dilute foundational Black American reparations movement and eventually try to absorb us, because if you absorb us, then guess what you just done as well? You just took the money right along with it, family, and it is not done. A lot of people don't know this. This has been going on, y'all. He went over to America and had a conversation, but guess what? America went on over to him. Pelosi, this was in 2019. Pelosi to observe the 400th anniversary of the slave trade. When we said all of that year of the return stuff was nothing more than them trying to get in on foundational Black Americans, it all goes back. It started off with the year of the return. The year of the return turned into reparations, okay? This is how it's played all the way out. But fam, when we say he was with some Democratic shills, check this out. Y'all gonna have to hear this. Check this out, y'all. U.S. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi is in Ghana. This 2019. They've been grooming him for a long time, y'all. Listen to these names. Tell me this ain't a Democratic shield. Tell me this guy ain't working exclusively with the Democratic Party so he can stifle our foundational Black American grassroots reparations. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is in Ghana with the U.S. congressional delegation for high-level talks and basically to commemorate the 400th year slave trade from Africa and the New World. The visitors were to be received Monday evening by Ghana President Nana, whatever the hell his name is. They include the House Majority, James Clyburn, Congressional Black Caucus Chairwoman Karen Bass, House Representatives Barbara Lee, and John Thank you for whooping my ass, Lewis. Said it, y'all. That is James Clyburn. Boy, that is the all-star tap dancers. They done went over there with the whole goddamn adventures of Coonan. James Clyburn, Karen Bass, Barbara Lee, and John Lewis. Yes, they are using their Democrat shields to go over there and to develop these relationships, run that stuff back on over here, and then position this guy to stifle foundational Black American culture, to stifle foundational Black American reparations. If you look, it's all the way there. Everything they do is all in the light, y'all. Everything they do is all in the light. They can't hide from us. Maybe another generation's fan, but not ours. Not this. We too thorough. We too certified. We know exactly what type of time they on. Okay? When they show up, we're going to already be ready for them. We're going to already be ready for them. And that's exactly what we've been doing, y'all. That's exactly what we've been doing. We know the game plan. We know the hustle. We know for a fact that they use these type of people. This ain't nothing but pre-grooming to take over our reparations, and they play this out step for step, day by day, family, until they get it the way they want it. And this is why we have called it out from the gate. We called it out before they even thought it was. It all starts slow. It starts off with stuff like this, y'all. It always starts real easy and real calm. And then they put these people in position, and I guarantee you this, family, whenever they start talking kind of friendly about reparations, and all of a sudden they start saying, well, maybe we do need to have the conversation. All of a sudden when the rhetoric starts to kind of die down, and you don't hear them just talking about, well, you know, where the money going to come from, then you already know it's going to be stuff like this. And mind you, fam, that was just then. Let's go to March. In March, guess who was over there hanging out? Guess who was over there being friendly, diddly-winly over there with dude? Yes, indeed. Kamala Harris.
U.S. is continuing its charm offensive in Africa. Vice President Kamala Harris has met with Ghana's president, that's Nana Akufo-Addo, while she's pledging aid of hundreds of millions of dollars for security and economic development. The trip to Ghana, Tanzania, and Zambia follows the December summit in Washington with African leaders, and many see the visit as Washington's efforts to offset the rising influence of China and Russia on the continent. But the White House maintains it's based on historical partnership with the West African country.
President Biden and I have made clear that the United States is strengthening our partnerships across the continent of Africa. And we are guided not by what we can do for Africa, but what we can do with Africa and our African partners on this continent.
I'm happy to state that this afternoon's meeting has further boosted the steadfast cooperation between us. And Ghana will continue to collaborate with the United States of America at all levels.
Yeah, there you go, there you go, there you go. And that shows you right there, family, exactly what type of time they are. We see it loud and clear. They can't really hide it. That shows you all of the maneuvers that they're doing. Anytime they start talking about economic development, that means that the United States is working with you, okay? That means that you're a puppet in the pocket of the United States of America. Nobody's talking about economic development in Africa unless they're in cahoots with African presidents, okay? They are in clear cahoots with this guy, and that's the part of the deal. We'll give you this, we'll break you off here, and what your little kickbacks will be, your kickbacks will be to go ahead and stifle the reparations movement for foundational Black Americans, jump in on foundational Black Americans' claim, try to turn the reparations movement from something that is just a domestic, genuine, authenticated reparations claim and turn it into something that is fraudulent, something that is a farce, and something that is a fallacy, okay? Say all of that 3 times fast, okay? And at the end of the day, foundational Black Americans are the ones that they're thinking about. This is their counter. This is them trying to get back. This is them trying to break down foundational Black Americans. They can't do it here at home, y'all. They can't. They try to do it with immigration. It's not working. All right. How many times did these people sit on our reparations panel? We got to understand we're at about the 5th gear now of this reparations movement. This time a year ago, they was trying to have these Africans and Jamaicans sitting on our reparations panels. That's what they were doing a year ago. We got rid of all of that. That's not even a story anymore. Remember that last year, y'all? Last year, reparations and all of our reparations movements and our panels and our committees, we were calling it out. Why is that Jamaican on our reparations panel? What is that Haitian on our reparations panel for? They don't need to be here. And all of a sudden, they just kind of disappeared. They kind of went into the dark, right? They just disappeared real fast. Now they went back to the drawing board. They said, okay, we can't really get them. We can't really fool them. We can't really hustle them. These FBAs are just too damn smart. Tell you what we can do. Let's take it outside of America. Let's make it global. So when we say we are not African, as we broke it down in every single element, it is not just social. It's also political. We have to have complete separation from Africa politically. We cannot allow these people to try to Africanize our movement. We cannot allow these people to try to Africanize our reparations claim. We can talk about lineage. We can talk about heritage. We can talk about culture. Yes, the hell we can, y'all. But the main thing that we have to do is that we have to have complete separation from Africa in a reparations political sense. Yes, the hell we do. Because the more they try to navigate and put us as one, that's the closer they're going to get to trying to take our reparations. So we are not Africans all the way across the board. And it's what it is genuinely any goddamn way. So when you add the fact that them trying to steal our reparations, it makes it even more true. More true. Look right there. Do you think Nancy Pelosi is wearing that just because? And look who's behind her. That's that Chuck Schumer guy. You remember Chuck Schumer, the guy that said we need 11 million illegals because we are not producing fast enough? That right there is what they do when they're trying to say, hey, Black Americans, ain't this y'all? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that after George Floyd? George Floyd gets harmed, and then out of nowhere, they start kneeling and start wearing goddamn kente cloths. And that was basically saying, oh, all y'all Black Americans, this will make you feel better. Put this on because we know y'all Africans anyway. Remember Roland Martin was showing up talking about something. Y'all need to go to Africa and quit living in America. Anytime the Democrats tell Black people to go some way, go in a certain direction, you know that direction is to suit them and not to suit us. So the very Africanized things that they've been trying to pull on us, that is only, and I repeat, only for us to be Africanized because it is much easier to dilute an Africanized foundational Black American policy than it ever is to stop a foundational Black American policy that is strictly solely just us. So the Africanization and the Africanized, y'all know what they did with Juneteenth. And Juneteenth, literally, no lie, they were literally putting up lights that were the RBG flag. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You think Kamala Harris is wearing that just because? Hell no. Hell no. That ain't how the game go. They doing that right there, family, because they know that if they can Africanize us, they can stop us. If they cannot Africanize us, then they ain't got no game. They ain't got nothing at all going for them. Nothing at all. So they put this in the air, in the atmosphere, family, and they don't just stop there. There's other people that were part of that. Oh, like I said, we don't give half receipts around here. We go all the way in. Yes, we do. Check this out, y'all. This guy right here. This is going on over in the UK right now. Yeah, oh, we go deep with it. See, when you start talking about foundational Black Americans, when you start talking about where we are and where we're going, we got the whole world shook, all right? The whole world. Our reparations, our movement, and us getting on code has genuinely, truly sent a whole shockwave across the world. So they have this Africanized reparations thing going. They also have this European one, but it's with the European Pan-Africanist. They're going to use Pan-Africanism as the proxy in the middle ground to bridge that gap. Look at this guy right here, family. This guy right here is someone who, I'm not mistaken, is in the parliament over in the UK. Last week, we played a clip of that lady who's in the parliament, and she attended the reparations summit in Ghana, and she was over there talking about Jamaica and Africa. She left us out. Watch this guy. He works in direct connection with the president of Ghana. The only difference is this guy lives in the UK. He is a UK politician, but he is originally from Ghana himself. And he pushes a false, fake European reparations claim that is in direct ties to the one in Africa.
Those who are actually just reducing it to a money conversation, need to be warned, because that is not what particularly the communities of our African heritage people across the world you actually want. Of course.
Stop. Whoa. Hold on. Whoa. I ain't even put it in the phrase right, family. Watch how he comes out the gate and he says, no cash payments. This is what you get with the African, the Pan-African, the I wish we was all one big African reparations claim. He comes out and says, we need to stop speaking about cash payments. And mind you, they're not talking reparations in their home countries. They're talking about reparations for all of us.
Those who are actually just reducing it to a money conversation, need to be warned, because that is not what particularly the communities of our African heritage people across the world you actually want. Of course, we expect more, but we give this a very cautious welcome. We must commend Buckingham Palace for stepping forward this far, and we know how difficult this is. Even though King Charles himself had said that the wrongs of the past, the time.
Right now, family, after he said he didn't want the money, first off, he started off saying, I don't even want the money. Why would we need money for? And then he spoke on all of us. He says, well, nobody in the whole African diaspora really wants any money. It's not really a money thing. And then he goes on and he starts to praise King Charles, Prince Charles, or whatever the hell. He starts to praise him. Yes, he does. He starts to say, well, we have to give him credit because he came out and said that he wants reparations for all of us. When the hell has that ever been stated? You see, just like the person earlier, we said that lady earlier had to spin it and she had to start caping for Zaddy, and she started doing it. It always starts off with what we all need to do is one, and then it always turns down into some type of, well, we got to give praise to the dominant society too. Watch.
Time has come for these conversations, to begin. Those of us who work in various, spaces, particularly with people and from organizations and communities racialized as white, how difficult this is. It's a difficult conversation, and that is why an establishment, body like Buckingham Palace and the British monarchy wanting to have research, independent research done, that is very, very, very welcome. But this engages particularly with the international social movement for African reparations, in the grassroots of our African heritage communities and other communities of colonized people across the world.
Right there, other communities of colonized people as well. And then he mentioned the African independence. See, they got a bunch of African reparations movements, fam, and committees.
And the British monarchy wanting to, have research, independent research done, that is very, very, very welcome. But this engages particularly with the international social movement for African reparations.
The international social movement for African reparations. Yes, the international social movement for African reparations.
But in the grassroots of our...
Man, and he got his damn eyes open and he's trying to talk on reparations. No wonder you don't want the money. You can't see the money even if they gave it to you.
African heritage communities and other communities of colonized people across the world who have, carried and with resilience this movement for reparatory justice.
This topic of reparations is very interesting. We've seen a number of organisations. We've just seen the Scott Trust, which owns the Guardian newspaper here in the UK, say that they want to pay some reparations, some money. We've seen a big family, Laura Trevelyan's family.
Right there, that proved my point, y'all. That right there proved the point to the 10. Notice that lady, she starts talking about a couple places over there in the UK that want to give the money. She starts talking about some rich family that want to give the money. She starts talking about their newspaper, how they want to give the money. Anytime you see somebody from the dominant society be receptive to reparations, whatever black person they're talking to is working for the white folks. Trust me. So by the fact that he sat there and he just said, we want no money and thank you for everyone. And then he turned around and the lady said, well, we want to give you some money. That is for their reparations claim. That is for that weak watered down, diluted reparations claim that they're trying to get all of us on board with. This is why we reject being any form of solidarity with these people, because the more you are in solidarity with these folks, family, the more you are going to get everything stifled and taken away. And he still says he don't want the money. Watch this.
Wanting to pay reparations. Do you think that that is the direction of travel that you would like to see from the royal family?
Not at all. In fact, there is a huge danger of reducing our demand for reparatory justice to just, paychecks and payouts. And it is really devaluing, this tragedy of history when it is all about, we'll give money here and there and so on and so on.
Right there. The damn people say they want to get the money. He said, no, it's not about money. See right there, he's saying he didn't want the money. He said he don't even want the money, keep the money cool. You feel me? These are the people that they're trying to put on the forefront, family. These are the people that they're trying to make the leaders of this reparations movement. It's people like that right there. This is why we ain't trusting them. This is why we ain't rocking with them, family. Foundational Black Americans, I'm just going to say it, we have literally nothing to do with any of them. All right? Anybody out there listening, anybody want to know what type of time we on? Foundational Black Americans, we completely denounce any reparations movement that has anything other than reparations for cash payments, or we denounce any reparations movement that is not from our own Black grassroots. That's just the way we got to, function. Because anything opposite of that, family, is the type of game and the type of scandal that they're trying to hustle us with. So no. Keep all of that. Keep all of that. You can have that, Mr. Mutombo. You can have that all the time, every which way. That is what y'all want. Y'all don't want no damn money. Y'all go over there. All right? They want to put somebody on the forefront that say they don't want no money. That's really what it go down to, family. Y'all know how it go. They want somebody on the forefront that says they don't want no goddamn money. So therefore, family, we cannot have any goddamn money. All right, so we don't acknowledge none of them. We move foundational Black Americans separate from everybody, and we denounce any reparations movement that is not from the FBA Black grassroots. That is just it. So if you're listening, Democrats, Republicans, Green Party, Lavender Party, Off Till, if you're listening, Mr. Mutombo, Joloff, Butter Biscuit Brigades, I don't give a damn who you are. If you're listening right now, then I'm telling you, foundational Black Americans, we are separate from any reparations movement that is not based on us. So the same way that tangibles is for us only, resources are for us only, this reparations Black grassroots is for us only. Because if you do not gatekeep it, you're going to end up with people like that. And family, I'm telling y'all, those movements are all across the world. When I started doing some research about these little weird reparations committees that pop up, now mind you, I was in Atlanta and I personally went to one of these Pan-African reparations movements. And we ran that lady from California off the block. But while she was there were Pan-African people everywhere. And they kept talking about how they went to the UN to try to go get reparations, trying to jump above us. They start talking about how they were with the Democratic Party. You see CARICOM is all up and down, okay? You see CARICOM and NCOBRA, all right? So I physically have been to some of these reparations committees that are Pan-African sponsored. And now you're seeing them not just only here in America. Now you're starting to see them pop up in the diaspora. You're starting to see them pop up all around the damn world because they're trying to turn Pan-Africanism into some type of political party or political proxy. That's really what they want. So as we spoke about how they're trying to take the immigrant class and they're trying to elevate the immigrant class into some type of, group that's easily to be functioned, that's the same exact thing they're trying to do with this. Watch this guy right here, family, start talking about Pan-Africanism. The launch of the Pan-African Institute. Watch this.
Ideology. An ideology, especially you young people, must start embracing if you have not embraced it yet. It is a spirit of brotherhood. A brotherhood of everyone of African descent, here and outside the continent of Africa. And this brotherhood recognizes our diverse culture, traditions, languages, and its strength and weaknesses. It is rich, so rich that the colonialist came over 100 years ago. Pan-Africanism is an ideology.
Right there, family. Watch how he says to the young people. Watch how he's trying to push Pan-Africanism. It's not just these little two-bit street corner hustlers. It's not just the Dr. Kubars of the world. Now they're trying to take Pan-Africanism and politicize it. And a lot of these people who are these Pan-African folks in politics are tied in and bunched in with the Democratic Party. Watch his words.
An ideology, especially you young people, must start embracing if you have not embraced it yet.
Pan-Africanism is something that you young people need to start embracing. He's going out trying to talk to the young folks now, trying to tell the young folks, basically, translation, don't go the way of FBA, because, you know, FBA wants to do for self. FBA is independent. FBA is really genuinely authentic and black grassroots. No. Be Pan-African. If you notice, every single clip that we've played from the president of Ghana, that guy who was squinting, that damn tap dance who said he didn't want no goddamn money, and this guy right here. What's the common theme, y'all? The common theme is they don't want no money, and they want us all to be Pan-African. So if they don't want any money, but yet they want us to be Pan-African, that means they want the money just for themselves. And Pan-Africanism is the way that they feel they can do it. Watch this.
It is a spirit of brotherhood.
No, it ain't.
A brotherhood of everyone of Africa.
Look at that guy. That guy ain't even looking. Look at that. That guy right there looking at his goddamn phone. That man looking at his phone ain't even paying no goddamn attention. That's Pan-Africanism right there. People talking, ain't nobody listening.
African descent here and outside the continent of Africa.
Right there. Here and outside of the continent. Trying to get our outside of the continent black grassroots movement, and they're trying to repossess it.
And this brotherhood recognizes our diverse culture, traditions, languages, and its strength and weaknesses.
No. What I recognize is that you think my money, your money. You think my lineage is something you could just steal from. You think that we all African and no, we foundational black Americans, loyal to the soil. Yes, indeed. And when you start talking about all of that right there, family, you end up with this right here. Is this what people want to be tied into? Because mind you, anytime somebody goes around and they embrace this OBN, okay, or shall I say one big Pan-African, you end up getting stuff like this. Watch the way these folks feel about us, family. Watch the way these folks talk about us. And this is why we are not African. We are foundational black Americans.
Immature and biggest hypocrites that I have ever seen. Because you people talk about Africa so highly when it suits you. But the moment that something triggers you or makes you feel a type of way because it's not self-serving, you want to take it away. You want to strip it off. You make yourselves so much like your forefathers of America. You align yourself so much with white culture and you don't even know it. The moment that African Americans see that we Africans believe in the Abrahamic God and that we believed in that before the 16th century, it's like, oh yeah, Africans are dumb. We're not looking at that part. You guys are dumb. You guys have no sense. You guys are primitive. But then when it's to talk about the will, or when it's to talk about Africans invented this or Africans invented that, when it's to go to Africa with your dusty dashiki and walking around safaris and trying to have pet lions, you people want to hail and hype up Africa when it suits you. It's self-serving. You want it for the hype, you want it for the culture, but you're not true African. The true Africans understand and know who the supreme God is. The true Africans understand and know.
She right there telling the Pan-Africans you ain't real African. Right there, she's saying what we said. Ho. Let me run that back. She's saying exactly what we said. Same thing.
And walking around safaris and trying to have pet lions, you people want to hail and hype up Africa when it suits you. It's self-serving. You want it for the hype, you want it for the culture, but you're not true African.
Y'all not true Africans. Okay, good. I feel the same goddamn way. You absolutely correct. We not. Let's keep it moving.
True Africans understand and know who the supreme God is. The true Africans understand and know that Christianity was in Africa way before you Americans even existed. We were here. We had an Abrahamic religion. Paganism came after that. You people are so hypocritical. You can't seek truth for yourselves. What you people are doing, you're seeking wealth, you're seeking power, you're seeking revenge against people who have done things to you in the 16th century, so much so that it's blinded you from seeking the truth, that you are the true sons of God. The same white man that enslaved you is the same white man that you people are being, and you're doing it to Africans now.
But some Africans feel that they're better than other blacks outside of Africa.
Here we go again. But before I get into this video, let me just educate you a little bit. Black people in Europe are at most first, second, or third generation immigrants, so they're definitely African. But when we're speaking for African Americans,
before we proceed, family, I put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to come up, spit some FBA fire, let's go. We were dropping so many receipts, I damn near forgot, family. So if anybody wants to come on up, the link is in the chat. Go ahead, feel free. We'll drop it the way it needs to be dropped. We'll continue to regulate and roast, family.
and Afro-Caribbean, I'm going to speak from a perspective of somebody who just recently moved to America. Before moving to America in 2017, I couldn't wait to make African-American friends. I mean, shit, I was tired of Africans. I moved here from Africa, obviously. I wanted to feel how it felt to be friends with Black people that are not African. And I remember moving here trying to make African-American friends and just feeling so left out and feeling like I did not belong, which then brought me back to just sticking with my Africans. Now, just because we stick together as a group does not mean we think we're better than you, nor do we want to intimidate you. If our presence emits dominance, just say so. And I don't think African Americans do it deliberately, but Africans just feel left out and like we can't relate.
But some African.
I am first generation. Both of my parents are from Liberia. I was born and raised in the United States. So I got to witness firsthand both sides of this argument. So the thinking in a lot of different African cultures is that Americans are lazy. They live off the government. They don't value education. They don't take anything seriously. And the reason they think this way is because in most African countries, you have to pay for school. So they feel that people who have the opportunity to get a free education should be much further in life. And while it seems simple and straightforward to them, they don't really understand the institutionalized racism and the systems that were put into place to make sure that people don't succeed. Because they didn't grow up in this system, they don't really understand how it works, which makes it a lot easier for them to judge. Now, on the other hand, I was in school when everyone was being called African booty scratchers. And I'd always be like, but I'm African too. And they'd be like, you're not a real African. These would be the same people that say, oh, Africans stink. Africans always have attitudes. Africans are so rude.
Nobody says that. As a matter of fact, if they could sit here and say all those things that they claim the foundational Black Americans say about them, how come 99.9% of all these videos are them talking about us? If it's the other way around, like they claim, where the receipts at? What you talking about, a first grader in 1981? Because kids today don't say none of that at all. And if you're still running around here harboring that, but making excuses for what a kata really means, then we know that your ass is straight up capping. And on top of all that, family, notice how you had the first two people who were just saying they don't like us, they don't rock with us. Then after that, who came in, family? The person trying to do it goes both ways. They send in everybody. It's just like supremacy. Supremacy plays both sides of the argument, and so do these Africans.
To understand is that people in the United States of America grew up watching stereotypes of Africa that are predominantly false. And the ones that were even somewhat true were not recent. So many people think of Africa and think of jungles and savages because that's what the US media promoted. When in actuality, Africa is thriving. They have infrastructure and cities and technology, the same as we do in the United States. But if that was promoted on TV, people would want to go back there as opposed to staying here. So like the original poster said, we're having these conflicts.
No, they can promote it on TV all goddamn day long. We ain't going over there. Get it through your head, homie.
Off of ideas that are not our own, off of false narratives that were built to keep us divided. But I think if we actually took the time to listen and learn, we see that there are a lot more similarities than there are differences.
A lot, like
Yeah,
in school,
yeah,
I got made fun of a lot. Like I got bullied for being African.
That can also create the animosity.
Mhm.
towards
Yeah,
Black
animosity,
Americans,
that's
because
definitely
the
where-
bullying, like your name and stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, we didn't know no better. We joke on each other. It's a part of our culture to make fun of stuff that may be serious, but to make the light out of it.
Because that's part of our culture, and Africans don't necessarily know that because obviously they have their own culture. So
Mhm.
they looking at it like,
with more respect.
yeah, they looking at it as,
Man, we ain't got to explain nothing. They doing too much FBA explaining for me.
oh, that's super disrespectful. When we looking
Yeah.
at it like, yo, it's just a joke. It's really not that deep. Like,
Yeah, we'll hug it out, Master.
Tree of Ghana.
This right here is what I want y'all to see, family. As we spoke earlier about them trying to get together and make these little, teams and these little groups between Africans and the Jamaicans politically. Watch this right here. Watch what this guy does. he speaks about Jamaica and Africa getting together and working on the side. Watch.
Team up, and as you can see here, we have the Tobago Gas Ghana Tema Terminal. This is a vision of a great black man out of Trinidad, Brother Amin Gustaf, who, in the spirit of the Africa CARICOM Summit of September 2021, where Africa and the Caribbean agreed to do more business together, establish ties, linkages, and
if you listen long enough, they're going to talk. He said in the spirit of the Africa and the CARICOM Summit, just like they had a reparations summit, and FBA is nowhere to be found. Now, they love using FBA as a talking point, but you see them getting together. So when we say there is an African diaspora global team that they're trying to get together and work together so they can take what's ours, voila.
connections with one another, as we are all African people, regardless of which side of the Atlantic Ocean that we are on. So the governments promised and pledged to forge these stronger ties between Africa and the Caribbean. But as I said from the beginning, if the governments fail in their promises, we as grassroots people out to the masses have to take up the initiative to ensure that we engage in unity, building those ties and connections with each other as African people in Africa and in the diaspora. So we are very proud to be associated with Tobago Gas Africa. No project through the government or through any politicians. It is us on the ground level making these connections.
Right there, right there, right there. On the ground, making connections. So what you see, family, is that when it comes to talking about slavery, when it comes to talking about the dominant society, bring up FBA. But yet when it comes to getting together and working in some type of cahoots, then all of a sudden it's leave out FBA. And this is why we say we definitely, right there, Iron Will, you said it. Yes, indeed. Tethers United. That's what we're going to start calling it. Fam, you just coined you something, brother. That's it right there. That's what we're going to call it. Tethers United. This is where we are right now. It's Tethers United. I mean, don't it make sense? Wasn't it par for the course, though? I mean, Foundational Black Americans, we have rejected every single group individually. Ain't it really only to the point now where, yeah, tethers are going to have to unite? That's just what they got to do because they can't get anything from us, not individually at all. So they're doing it outside of this country and they're doing it collectively. But when you start talking about what's going on over in the Caribbean, let's go over there right now. They got beaches right now in Africa and beaches in Jamaica, all through the Caribbean family, where at the end of the day, you cannot even allow Jamaicans to go to their own beaches over there. But yet, once again, Foundational Black Americans stay on repeat in these people's minds.
You know who can't access Jamaica's white sand beaches? Jamaicans. According to local advocacy groups' calculations, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public.
Jamaicans have nowhere for themselves. We are living in between waters and we have no access to a beach.
Norris Arscott has been fishing at his local beach for most of his life. But a company bought the land in front of the beach and built a cement wall around the property. The plan? To build another resort.
Me personally have no access to another beach. So we had no choice than to go where they push us. Me been occupying that beach for 70 years. Those beaches was like our playground.
There are approximately 74 public beaches on the island, but many of them are in disrepair, charge daily use fees, or are difficult to access without a vehicle. So now, Norris has to bike 10 kilometers every morning along a busy highway to get to the closest beach where he can fish.
I earn more money if I was fishing here. But what happened, I had to be going and coming to and from St. Lawrence Bay to here to make $1. It's a far, tall journey to do from here at 70 years of age. They are pushing us back. This colonial system is coming right back at us.
He sometimes only makes around $25 selling fish. In comparison, the two all-inclusive resorts nearby can cost hundreds of dollars per person per night. Damien Combs lives down the road from Norris. He says his neighbors are also suffering from the lack of income after the beach closure.
So we're looking here at jet skis, which have been parked, so to speak. Some of them are broken. Some of them have damaged engines. They would sell rides to tourists or sell rides to locals. Jet skis put food on the table.
The Caribbean is the most tourism-dependent region in the world. But according to the UN,
Approximately 80% of all tourism dollars spent in the Caribbean end up leaving the region.
The thing that the government will tell you, and these hotels, that they create jobs. They create jobs, but what kind of jobs? You're actually working in a hotel, which you will never ever be able to afford. You have all your independent people that did their own independent work. And
so once again, they talk about foundational Black Americans. They talk about what we got going on. They're always like, you guys get depressed. The fact is that foundational Black Americans are operating outnumbered, and these folks got all the numbers and are still losing. So what do I call that, family? I call that someone who is failing. And remember, the T in tether, that's, man, I ain't going to, should I say it? I don't know if I'm going to make them mad like that today. Okay. No, let's put it this way. The F in FLIR stands for failure, and the T in tether stands for something. They got something in their mouth, okay? And it's from the dominant society. All right, and it starts with test. All right, that's what it stands for, okay? And they come over here and they got it wide open just so the dominant society can go ahead and give it to them. I ain't gonna say what that word is, all right? But let's just put it this way: they enjoy it. And this is what happens over there. And this is why foundational Black Americans over here operate in a different world, in a different time zone, family. That's why we continue to keep on pushing, and we don't have those stories. What you see coming from us, family, are people who strive, people who persevere, people who continue to, make ends meet even with less. All right, and they got more and they still lose. As a matter of fact, let me ask this to y'all: when you start talking about what's going on over there in these people's lands, notice, y'all, you see this a whole lot of times. You see this a whole lot of ways, and one of the things that you always see is foundational Black Americans don't participate in this type of behavior right here. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this guy. Was he shooting his shot? Watch this.
I'm from Ghana.
Ghana?
Yeah.
What they got going on in Ghana?
Accra. I like you.
You like me?
Yeah.
I like you too.
You are very, very fresh baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fresh baby girl. Okay.
Where your wife at?
I don't get any wife.
That man said, I don't got any wife. And that man over there, hey, he trying to run that tether game right there. That's that tether game. He thought he smooth too. He thought that was straight out the tether playbook. Look at him. He ain't playing. He said he gonna fly all the way. He willing to risk it all to come on over here and bring that big ass forehead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fresh baby girl. Okay.
Where your wife at?
I don't get any wife.
What?
I'll be single.
You single?
Yeah.
I can't believe that. Where you from?
I'm from.
I can't believe that shit. I can. He's single for life. Single for life. He running that straight tether game, family, and he thought he was gonna get it too, didn't he? Didn't he? He thought he was working. He thought he was gonna get it all off. Nah, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. And that right there, fam, that is an example. That is a picture. You can frame that of the way they move and the way foundationals move. He was basically saying the same thing these folks was talking about when they're trying to talk about our reparations. It's the same thing. I went what you want. I got what you got. Me no have wife. That's the same way they say we all brothers, family. Come over here. Akata does not really mean slur. Akata means friend. It's the same thing. And that's one thing that we broke down on this episode. We went through it step for step for step. And you see, when it comes to us, it's spite, it's jealousy, and it's vitriol. Can't nobody tell us different. When it comes to us, they want to steal. They want to be imposters. They want to cosplay. Can't nobody tell us different. When it comes to us, they got all these bad negative issues. When it comes to the dominant society, they want to bow down. They want to lay down. They want to stay down. And can't nobody tell us different. So no, we are not Africans. We are foundational Black Americans. And in this episode, we went through it. We went through it in terms of lineage, heritage, and culture. We talked about how we're the original people in this landmass. We talked about how we were Americans before America. We talked about grandma. We talked about grandpa. Hell, I showed mine. So you know the receipts come in heavy when we talk about us being the originators, us being the architects, us being the foundation. There'd be no USA without FBA. But Africa, they can go over there and do their own thing because foundational Black Americans, we've been doing our own thing since day one. We don't change the game up. We don't change the game up at all. And if you really just want to go there and put the brass tacks on it, we are out here winning. And for the most part, they're out here losing. And they can get mad. They can troll us. They can get in our Twitter spaces. They can troll our chat rooms all the hell they want to. You can wave the scam African flag all damn day long. If you do that and you jump on that scam African bus and we stay over here on this FBA side, I guarantee you, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, everybody going to be on FBA. Everybody. Because you already see people jumping on it now. Now everybody want to be foundational. Now everybody's talking about it. How many times y'all see people trying to talk about the lineage or ancestors? Nobody's using scam African talking points. That stuff is old, outdated, and through. It's all about us right now. This is our generation. I'm always saying this is the lineage and the reparations generation. I'm always saying that we play more of a role in changing the world than the whole continent of Africa. We are more influential. And I'm not just talking about hip hop. I'm talking about beyond. I'm talking about socially. I'm talking about politically. I'm talking about spiritually. You got folks right now saying, well, the ancestors, you got that from FBA. You got folks saying, man, I caught the vibe. You got that from FBA. The frequency, you got that from FBA. You out here tilting your hat to the side. You got that from FBA. Don't talk reparations because we know damn well you got that from FBA. Every single thing you do, you done got from foundational Black Americans. Then you try to come back to foundational Black Americans and sell it back to us. No, no, no. You may have been able to pull that on the African American. You cannot pull that on the foundational Black American. And we have put it on the line, family, the difference between those two. The old days of the scam Africans is over. The new days of the foundational Black American is in, and it is huge, and it's running the game. And this is why everybody's watching our every move. And it's clear by what we broke down today on this episode, when we say they watching our every move, family, they watching our every move. Every single thing that we do. Trust me. We're talking about Ghana. We're talking about Zimbabwe, the Senegal. We're talking about Jamaica. We're talking about Haiti. We're talking about Europe. They got reparations packs and committees and summits that go on in places all over the world. But foundational Black Americans been over here cooling, doing our own thing, our own way. Yes, the hell it has. But I want to show y'all this right here. This is what I got to show everybody. I've been waiting to show this to everybody because, you know, we go back and we pull out them old receipts because the old receipt is still a receipt. Look at this right here, family. This right here is an article that came out, and I want to say 86 or 87? It's between 86 and 88. This term right here, look at this, feel this, check this. This shows you that it is very important to name yourself, to identify yourself, and to represent yourself. Because if you do not name yourself, somebody else will. And that somebody is going to try to manipulate you when they do. African-American term, less preferred, poll says. So when they've been running around here calling us African-American, Americans from Africa, folks just running around in the Western Hemisphere from some damn village in Zimbabwe or Senegal or wherever the hell, this right here, family, shows you that we are and have never identified with the term African American. And us right now getting rid of that term is just due. It is just due. Washington Post. Despite increasing use of the term African American, most Black Americans still prefer to be called Black. Man, we've been on it. Woo! I love us. I love us. According to a newly released survey, the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies, a Black-oriented study group, said it conducted the survey among a sample of 759 Black people. It found that 72% said they preferred Black, 15% said African American, 3% said Afro-American, and 2% said Negro, with the rest giving no opinion or any other response. So let's get that right. Even in the 80s, when they were trying to indoctrinate us with the term African American, we were saying, hell no, we Black. So when we start saying we're Black, Africans say they were never Black until we came here, then they can stay over there and we can continue to handle Black business right here in this land. The change from Black to African American was first proposed in December 1988 at a meeting in Chicago to lay the groundwork for the African American Summit that was held in New Orleans in April 1989. President of the National Urban Coalition suggested that it would give Black people more of a sense of their history. Civil rights misleader Reverend Jesse Jackson endorsed the idea at the summit and has since adopted by such other prominent Blacks in New York, such as Mayor David, whatever the hell, Atlanta Mayor, whatever the hell, U.S. Representative, whatever the hell. These people will go nameless. And some other Black organizations. The Joint Center has not embraced the change. Individuals here use the term, but as an actual institution, we have not adopted it. Frankly, we think that among other practical considerations, it is bit more basically conducive than the convenient and far much more communicative. Mr. Moore said Mr. Jackson endorsement appeared to be more of a position change and more of a movement change. Family, this goes to show you, and I'm going to go all the way down to the end. There have been, however, some previous surveys in 1989 by the Time magazine and Chicago Tribune, 26% of Black respondents said they preferred African American. Only 26%, y'all. 26%. 61% said they preferred Black. And 40% favored Black. 31% said otherwise. So when you talk about polls that they conducted in 1988 and 1989, when they first created this term, 72% in one poll said Black American and 15% said African American. And then in the next poll, it said 61% said Black and African American did not even register. We are certified foundational Black Americans. And it goes to show you, even back in the 1980s, that the brothers and sisters had it right then. African American was never an accepted term. African American was always a rejected term. And we just laid out the receipts according to articles from the Chicago Post and the Washington Post all the way back in 1988 and 89. And it proves that African American was rejected then in the same way we reject it now, in the same way that it should always be rejected, because we are not African Americans. We are not Africans. We are foundational Black Americans. And you can call us what you want. You better put the foundational on it, because we built this whole thing full blood in line. And that is the difference between us, and that is the difference between everyone else. We put it on the line. We represent who we are, and we proud of it. We say it loud, we Black and we proud. We're the ones out here who've been carrying the weight. We've been the ones keeping the lights on. If it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, y'all, somebody tell me, what would be the state of Black people over the world if there were no foundations? If there was no foundational Black Americans on this planet Earth, where would Black people be? The answer to that lies in, where are Black people at where there are no foundational Black Americans? There's no foundational over in Africa. They over there getting re-scrambled. There's no foundational Black Americans down in Mexico. That's why the Afro-Latinos just popped up on the census a year ago. Wherever there are foundational Black Americans, Blackness is being represented to the fullest. Wherever foundational Black Americans go, everybody wants to be Black, act like they're Black, and duplicate being Black. That just shows you that we have been the ones keeping the lights on. Therefore, we can say, we can choose, we can do whatever the hell we please, because we are the originators, the foundation, and apparently, evidently clear, we are the winners. And when you win, you can do whatever the hell you want. And right now, family, in this generation, in this era, we're doing whatever the hell we want, and we don't care what they think about it. Yes, indeed. We started this off with Grandma telling everybody that she is not African. She is full-blooded American. Now we're going to go ahead and let Grandma tell everybody one more time what time it is. Mr. Mutombo, I know you've been listening. Y'all been trolling me all week on goddamn social media. All right, Mr. Fufu, I know you trolling too. So y'all listen real close, because she could say it better than Black Alpha ever could.
When you see that little girl, she correct me all the time. No, Grandma, I don't understand you too good, Grandma. I said, what do you mean you can't understand me? You can understand other things, right? You can understand me. No, Grandma, I don't understand you. Then he think for a while. Yeah, something. Some of them, yeah, they call me from, if I'm from Africa or from, I'm not from Africa. I'm a full-blooded American. As long as I can speak, that people can understand something. I understand the way you speak.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, family, let's run it down. We said we have receipts. We started off explosive. We're going to end it the same way because that's how we do it right here on the Black Alpha Network, family. We showed everybody that we have ancestral presence in this country before this country was a country. So this land actually belongs to us. The actual landmass belongs to us. We've proven that. We broke it down. People in the chat, everybody showed receipts, put it on the table. That already proves one half. We already showed how these people try to hustle us and scam us, and they don't feel that we brothers. They don't feel that we all the same. Anytime they say that, they really just trying to get our money. They really just trying to take from us. We done put that on the line. We done showed that scam Africanism is old, dried up, outdated. It's not coming back. You won't see it anymore. We've already broke down the way that we move and we operate is different than everyone else. And we are the ones who are functioning and keeping the lights on for blackness. That is what we show. So when we put all these receipts on the table and we continue to put these receipts on the table, what can anybody tell us, y'all? What literally can you fix your mouth and tell foundational Black Americans? Not a goddamn thing. And the difference between our era and eras before, we've always been exceptional. We've always been great. It's just in this generation, this time, this day, we're just more bold, more brash, and we say it loud all the way across the board for the world to hear. We are not Africans. We are foundational Black Americans. We are the creators, the originators, and everything revolves around us because there would be no USA without FBA. Yes, indeed. Certified salute to the family, man. Y'all know I appreciate y'all for pulling up and tapping in. We had to go ahead and put that on the table. We had to go ahead and dispel some rumors and some myths that these folks got. And we also had to let them know that you're not going to try to run game on us. We're going to G-check. You're not going to hustle us. We're going to G-check. You're not going to scam. We're going to G-check, scheme, strategize. We going to G-check, and we're going to do it all the way across the board. Before I go, fair use to this whole video. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This has been nothing more than commentary to break it down, teaching and scholarship and research. And we research very, very well. And we put some scholarship on the table. And it is all proven the fact that foundational Black Americans are always and will always be exceptional. Salute to the family. I want everybody to tap back in. I forgot to take calls earlier, but we're going to take, hold on. Wait a minute. I got somebody in here now. Hold on. Before we roll out, I'm going to bring up one person real quick before we roll. Hold on 1 second, y'all. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Black Alpha News Network, man? I appreciate your work. I just wanted to give you a shout out, man.
Man, hey, salute to you, family. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. You know, we got to stay on their necks, right?
Hell yeah. I give you shots out whenever I can, man.
Yeah. I see him, man. I see and I hear everything, brother, and I appreciate that. We're going to keep on building, man. I appreciate that. Keep doing your thing too, family.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right, brother.
All right, peace.
Peace out, family.
Be one.
Appreciate that, family. We're going to pull up next episode. We're going to have everybody come on up, man. I'm trying to get like at least 30 people come on here, man. We'll get 600, 700 people in the room, family, and we'll run it all the way through, man. So I appreciate that, brother, right there, and we'll break it down. We got so many receipts, family. I forgot to bring people up a little earlier. We'll do it the next time because FBA all day. We ain't going nowhere, man. So y'all stay good. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay vigilant, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate everything. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding, and we are FBA in the building. Peace and love, man. Remember, Black is beautiful, and beautiful is always Black.
Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.